Well, hello everybody. How we doing today?
Good evening. Loving that intro. Oh my gosh.
Well, honestly, Purple, I watched your stream a couple days ago where you were talking about Watch the Mummy, especially with Brendan Fraser, and I was like, I can deep fake that. And so, yeah, I'm glad you respect that. Yeah, I love
And the
those
hobbits
movies.
are back.
Yes, Merry and Pippin. Where are we going again? Yes, yes.
One of my favorite things about the intro was the topics we're not going to get to.
I gotta try. I only did 4 revisions of the tear sheet tonight. So how are you doing, Nathan? It's great to have you back. Let's bring the chat to this party.
I'm doing well, man. I'm living the dream, and I'm just I'm glad that I had a little Hobbit appearance in there with my pipe. Life is good, man.
Good. Well, it looks like we've got a whole lot of people in the chat tonight. We have a couple of anniversaries, actually. We have Blair to Blair, hail to you, brother. It's his 1-month anniversary. We have, of course, the new member, Daniel. We have Kaylee or Kayla Dare is a 2-month anniversary. And I know that I have to bounce between screens here, but before this show started, we had Tovi Andy, oh my God, you guys, I don't have it in front of me, but we have a new level on the channel, and it's called the Taveran. And that was actually requested by a channel member who maybe didn't want to do super chats, but wanted to give more of a monthly consistent, support to the channel. So that is a new channel membership. I'm not really good at self-marketing, so if you're interested, check it out. I create you some custom icons and some other stuff like that you get to use, but I just want to say thank you to those people who have joined at that level. So who else do we have here tonight? We have, of course, Blair to Blair. We've got the Sultan Al Fahima. We've got William 101. What's up to you? Keely Chow. Roll Tide. We have also, who else do we got? The Thad That Shouldn't Be. I was talking with him earlier today, as a matter of fact. Check out his Lord of the Rings video. He is criminally, chronically undersubbed. He is working on his audio quality, and that way we'll all be able to hear the wonderful takes that he has even better than we already do. Let's see who else. We've also got Zaxx. Apparently this guy's in here, but William 101. Hold on. We've got more channel member anniversaries. We've got William 101, who's been a channel member for 2 months. So hail to you guys. Hail to everybody. So let me go ahead and get to Zaxx. How are you doing? There's a blizzard coming to Manitoba, isn't that right?
Yeah, there's a giant 3-day blizzard on the way, so we're looking at a whole lot more snow, and we still have the snow from before. So it's it'll make, I guess I can make some content with it. I've done that before. People love snow videos, so
Yeah.
I guess I'll look at that. But it's a pretty serious deal. Like for us, talking about closing schools, that doesn't ever happen here, and they're going to do that. So yeah, buckle up.
Well, I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you don't lose power, and most of all, I hope your children don't become bored and drive you crazy.
Yeah, if we lose our internet, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to do is another little bit of business. I have a merch store which has entirely all new updated things that are in it. Especially there are some very groovy pint classes that I actually consulted with some people to what to make, and there are some pretty cool things out there. If you become a Taveran, you get a special discount code for those things. So if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. I'm new to all this stuff, so I don't know how to shill appropriately. So the link is on my channel, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this up real quick. So,
but before you do, speaking of Taveran level, William 101 has upgraded to Taveran level.
Oh my God, you guys, William 101. Thank you guys so much. I have to refresh my own memory as to what it is that I'm going to be doing, but I actually am going to be spending one-on-one time with you to design your own icons. Also, we're going to be doing some one-on-one question sessions. Speaking of which, all of those Wheel of Time sessions that we did have been incredibly popular. I still have one more to make that features Zaxx as well as Toviendes, the other Tavern. And the next topic I want to cover with doing a interview series is Doctor Who. So Doctor Who from a show perspective, Doctor Who from, did you read the paperbacks from the 70s, 80s, 90s? What is your fandom? That's the next series I'm going to do. So of course, any channel members and anybody at all that loves Doctor Who, please hit me on Twitter. Go ahead and hit me on email if you want as well. So there we go. Is there anything that anyone wants to call out before we move on? Okay,
yep.
Blair to Blair. Oh,
another upgrade.
I am truly befuddled. You all humble me. Thank you very much. Very, very much. I wish I could buy you all a cup of coffee or a drink or pastrami on rye, whatever your thing is. Thank you guys for doing that. That just, wow, I'm blushing and grinning at the same time, and gosh, thanks. So you may have noticed
those pint glasses are awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. We have the nice Fellowship of the Pints, which lists off all of our Fellowship characters. We also have a pint glass with one of my favorite quotes from Theodore Roosevelt, "The Man in the Arena." And then there is also, what is the third one? We have another one that has all of the steps of the hero's journey. And those are things that matter a lot to me. And it's just one thing we're seeing in our entertainment is the loss of the hero's journey. And I don't know. It's nothing like pouring a pint and looking at the hero's journey when you're watching some trash on Amazon or Netflix and going, yep, you're missing 6 of those steps. So you guys, thank you very much. You're unbelievable. So
trash on Amazon or Netflix? Well, I never.
I won't even qualify what's on Paramount Plus as trash. Someone needs to give me a different word for trash, refuse, defecation. I mean, I cannot believe. I mean, I don't want to talk about Halo, but I can't believe what they did in their last episode. God.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch Halo at all?
Yes.
I dipped out after the first episode. I was done.
Oh my God.
I'm watching other people suffer through it. It's actually pretty entertaining.
I feel bad for the guy they have playing Master Chief, because I liked him in American Gods. I thought he was great as Mad Sweeney, and he is just awful as Master Chief in this show. And they're just making him do the least Master Chief like things you can imagine.
Well, and you You get
Get
to see his
naked.
ass, though. I was
Yeah.
gonna say you get to see his ass, right? And I guess
That's
that's what
exactly-
counts.
Well,
Like wearing
Yeah,
a
if they-
helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, if they wanted to keep it true to the character, he would have at least kept his helmet on in the shower.
Mhm.
Oh, true. Speaking of keeping your helmet on in the shower, the MV Penis is not with us this evening. He has some personal business to take. I did it. I almost killed Purple. It only took 10 minutes. So,
That was a wonderful segue.
I am,
Chef's- chef's
getting
kiss.
that was a chef's kiss. But no, our man Max actually is working on some business stuff tonight, so he will be back next week. No need to fear. So yeah.
And we have another upgrade.
Oh my god. Oh my god, who upgraded? Oh
Kelly.
my god. Kaylee. You guys are absolutely incredible. All of you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a rare occasion. I'm at a loss for words. You humble me. This channel would be nothing without all of you and your feedback and your comments and your upvotes. And I am so sincerely grateful. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really. Thank you very much. So I'm going to shift into one of our topics, and we're not going to spend all night on it, but I wanted to acknowledge the passing of Gilbert Godfrey. Purple, I guess, what are your recollections? What are your thoughts on the comedy of Gilbert Godfrey?
Wow, he was just an iconic voice, wasn't he? You know, you heard that voice and you knew exactly who it was. You know, you think of him playing Iago in Aladdin, for example. I absolutely loved that character. And the one thing that he did, which was just hilarious, I think he didn't read the entire thing. It was like a clip that he did for a comedy, but he actually did 50 Shades of Grey. As a reading.
I heard about that. I heard about that.
Beautiful. It was
Oh.
absolute art.
It's the only artistic thing ever done with 50 Shades. Trust me.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, there are a lot of wanks that are not people's proudest, but I'm pretty sure getting off to Gilbert Godfrey talking about being flogged is probably not one I would ever bring up. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. It is we lost Bob Saget, and now we lost Gilbert Godfrey. I remember these guys all through the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Just rest easy, brother. That's all I can say. Thanks for the laughs. So
No.
and Purple, somebody just hit me with something in
Yes, be
private
careful when you
chat.
open this, because this is what we were talking about. Just
Okay.
this is the
Oh.
reading.
Yep.
So just
Okay.
in case anybody
No.
wants to see it.
I am going to try this. I am going to try this just because I love our chat. And let me go ahead and click through all these little buttons and knobs. You asked for it.
Oh.
You've got it. You have adult erotica read by none other than Gilbert Godfrey. Now we can do this in about 7 seconds. Are you all right, Purple? Do you need oxygen? All right, here we go.
I'm good.
All right.
Gold.
Buckle up, everybody. It's going to get real weird.
Bull.com presents.
All right, let's try this.
My inner goddess has stopped dancing and is staring too, open-mouthed and drooling slightly.
It does get raunchy, obviously, but
yeah.
so worth
Okay.
listening.
All right, I think I got. I'm going to do math.
It's a reading that can only be described.
Here, hold on.
Holy fuck!
Oops, there we go. I missed one. Sorry for the kids in the room that might be watching the show, but
We passed
I
the
managed to
10-minute
find the
mark.
one thing I was avoiding. So, so there we
Oh,
go.
man.
Oh wow! Let's see if we get it.
Holy hell!
All right. Thanks, Purple. That was awesome. So you get the idea.
You get the idea,
Available on Audible now. Gilbert Godfrey reads 50 Shades of Grey. Hail to you,
Oh,
Gilbert.
and the look on the guy's
Godfrey.
face as he's looking into the camera. Oh my
I
goodness, that's
know.
gold.
Who else do we have? We have new people.
Save
We've
that
got
link.
Flaccid Phoenix. He is a lone. We were actually talking on Twitter. His love of Braveheart is second to none, really, and he is guarding his fandom, much like we talked about last week. The same way those of us with good taste to do Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, Star Trek. But it's great to see you, Flaccid Phoenix. We also have Jaden Hamilton. Hello, Jaden Hamilton. Cheers to Daniel. And then, of course, let me just, am I missing anybody else in the chat? All right. So a lot has happened this week. I'm waiting for a week where we don't turn around and somehow, oh boy. Yep. And sorry about that. There's some stuff going on with Chrome right now. So, I think we got some good news this week, though. And I don't say that lightly because I never want to give false hope. And that was a fascinating review from the Hollywood Reporter. Now, Zaxx, Purple, did you guys have a chance to read this article?
Yes, I did go over it. I think it's pretty much what we were hoping that it would, what people would say about it. We were hoping that this was going to be a fantastic film. I know I've got my tickets booked for Friday because that's when it comes out over here.
Yeah.
So I am so looking forward to seeing this film.
What about you, Zaxx?
Yeah, I was happy to see the article, and I think what surprised me the most about all the stuff that you sent was that it really the comments on Twitter were there's a lot of negative comments about this movie, and I never would have thought that existed.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my
Hold
kid.
on. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
And hold
But,
on.
like,
And
there's hate for this, and it makes no sense to me.
it makes sense to me. Though, because I want to hear Nathan's take on this. Nathan, you're a fan of Viking sagas, if I understand correctly, and you were super stoked about this movie too. What did you think about what they had to say?
I'm excited about what they had to say. I haven't gotten into the Norse mythology as much, but this type of thing will certainly open the door for me on it. The trailer was incredible, I thought, and just everything that they've presented so far with it is awesome. And I read the comments too on Twitter. The negativity around it got me even more excited because all the normies are like, no, we don't want a muscular man up there doing heroic things. It's like one comment I think I saw read like, oh, it's a revenge story. Haven't we seen this before? I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with it?
It's what a lot of revenge stories are actually based on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I know
So
it's
what?
shocking. I know it's shocking that we're not getting a multicultural, developmentally disabled person, female who is taken on the mantle of yet another toxic man. I know that all of us are dying. We can't wait to see that happen to another movie, in another franchise.
Right.
But
the
this
MS
movie
Viking is what I always wanted.
Honest to God, I mean, this movie is what they said in the Hollywood Reporter. It skirted some of the things that you're saying about the crazies on Twitter. And this is kind of where we start to do our own calculus here. So if Rotten Tomatoes likes it too much, it's a warning sign. If Twitter harshes on it, it's a sign we need to go and see this movie. And you're right. I'm baffled by this bizarro clown world where they keep trying to manufacture these narratives. So here's the thing, and I'm going to shout out, we have Gray from Wakazishi's Tea House. We've got a new member, Squeaka Mouse. This is Unbearable 73. Dude, thank you for upgrading to the Taveran level. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you all. The thing about this article, if you're going to go look for this on the Hollywood Reporter, in my opinion, there are moderate spoilers. Do you think that's fair, Purple?
I think so, yes. If you want to go completely into this film, not knowing what's going on, I would say proceed with caution when reading this. But yeah, it's a very odd article, and to be honest, having read it just makes me want to see the film even more now. So
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm going to give you something that I wouldn't give a spoiler at all. This is again from the Hollywood Reporter. It says the Northman's marauding energy holds you hostage, and Prince Amleth is a hunky, heroically vengeful killing machine with a heart that Skarsgård was born to play.
yes,
Wow.
yes, all of that, please.
More
Thank
of
you.
that, please. Yeah. Oh my God. And then there's a bunch of spoilers. I'm going to go back through it.
Purple's going to be dabbing her forehead the entire time in the movie.
I may have to bring a fan with me. Yes,
I mean,
the vapors.
something's
It's
got to be
gonna need a
moist, that's for
fainting
sure.
pouch. Purple's gonna be like,
Right.
Purple's gonna be like, oh no, male nudity. Oh no, gratuitous violence. Yeah.
This,
No,
my
it's
wife and I are celebrating our anniversary early to go see this movie when it comes out on the 22nd.
nice.
awesome.
Yep.
So
So basically, I'm going to look at my wife and be like, I'll be covering her eyes half the time. Like, no, or just pretend me, honey.
not too much
get home
information
fast.
at all.
Nathan, get fast.
That's right. Don't turn the lights on. Just bump into all the furniture. Don't lose the moment. So,
That's
but I will drop this as well. They say, of course, if you've seen Eggers' other films, they all share a fascination with the magical properties of animals, like in the movie The Witch, which was crazy. It was a goat, and then of course a cursed seagull in The Lighthouse. This time, the occult fauna are wolf cubs and ravens.
Of course.
Oh, Purple. That does that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is ticking so many boxes, and like, we've been talking about this film for quite a while now. We've been saying, how much we are looking forward to it. How great the casting looked. The trailer was fantastic. It really set the scene and really kind of gave you a taste of what was to come. Plus, it's got Willem Dafoe in it. Who the hell doesn't love Willem Dafoe?
I know. And we have a follow-up story that I just picked up that we're going to get to after this, which is even more exciting, having to do with Eggers working with Dafoe on yet another movie. Believe it or not. Seriously, but hold tight for this one. So again, the Hollywood Reporter, there are no spoilers to this. It says the film is shot by Eggers with a restless propulsion and with a textured feel for the dramatic landscape slashed by wind, rain, snow and ice, or coated with mud and ash. The choreography of the combat scenes, both the staging and the shooting in long, unbroken takes is mind-blowing. Whoa.
Nice. And I've always been a fan of this director. I like everything that he's done so far. He seems to be one of the few at the moment that's willing to, take a chance and just do something because he wants to do it. And as you can say, so much toxic masculinity. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
How weird is it now that taking a chance means making a straightforward movie?
that doesn't measure up against ESG scores. It's just a good movie that everybody's going to see. Yeah.
It's wacky.
So the last paragraph to this, and again, I have avoided spoilers. Again, if you want to go into the movie clean without any taint of the Hollywood Reporter in their details, and there are many, I think this is the thing. If you needed something to give it a little push, if you weren't already sold to go see The Northman, it says, whether you buy into Eggers' insane epic, get high on its blood-drenched sorcery, oh my God, or roll your eyes at its successes, the film makes you appreciate how seldom we get to see a big, noisy, brawling spectacle these days that's grounded not in comic book superheroes and villains, but in a culturally specific history. In other words, a work of bold imagination, not another offshoot of a familiar IP. That alone deserves respect. Mind blown. Mind blown.
Take my money, please.
Purple, I think this is everything we were afraid to say we wanted when we talked about this about 2 weeks ago. I am blown away by this. I truly, absolutely am.
I am as well, and as you say, they're coming out in force on Twitter to kind of downplay this film. I think that this is going to be one that is not spread by the word of the critics, but by word of mouth. When people have seen it, they're going to tell their friends how great this film is. You have to go see this film.
Absolutely. And let me shout out Lyle Hammock is in the house with Mrs. Hammock and, of course, Little Hammock. Hey to you, brother. It's great to see you. We were actually chatting on Max's the MV Penis show last night. He was there for a while. Also, a Troubled Green is here as well. She was a fellow mod on Max's Man Cave as well. Are you all getting any static, or is that just me on my side?
I'm getting it.
Yeah, a little bit of
Okay.
feedback.
Okay. That is weird. Let me try adjusting the gain on my side. So, yeah, this is God, I haven't been excited about a movie in so long. I just I can't wait to go see this movie. So,
I'm with you.
as if that wasn't exciting enough. And okay, now hold on. Of course, everything is backwards. So David Eggers, and let me pull this thing up because I am a professional and I, of course, do this really seamlessly, so you don't know what I'm doing. David Eggers, like I mentioned, wants it. This is the second film he's worked with Willem Dafoe on, and he wants to do a third movie.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Willem Dafoe as Nosferatu?
You know what? Yes, I can, and I think he would absolutely nail the character. It's been a while since we've had a Nosferatu film, and I'm all for it.
Hasn't he already
is
played
fast.
that in other movies? I mean,
I was gonna say I thought he played
did.
a vampire before.
He has
but-
played a vampire before, yes.
But this would be a remake of the classic 1922 film Nosferatu. And in this, he did play a vampire in 2000's horror satire film The Shadow of the Vampire. So he played Max Schreck, the actor who played Count Orlok in the original film Nosferatu. So it was a little meta here. It's kind of crazy.
Yes, but that's very Robert Eggers. That's kind of what he does. He'll kind of take a role that somebody's played and really flip it on their heads. And I think that this is going to be great. It seems to be that Robert Eggers is becoming the director that Guillermo del Toro was,
Yes.
5-10 years ago before Hollywood took over him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm excited about this. I mean, I want to go see The Northman. I am so excited about that. I'm going to hold my judgment, but boy, I would be super stoked at this point to see anything Eggers does. The question, I think, is a worthy one, and Purple, you just brought it up. What happens when he gets more than $100 million to make a movie? What happens when he starts getting a lot of money and a lot more studio interference and a lot more boxes that have to be checked and a lot of other egos and agendas and narratives that have to be satisfied other than just telling that auteur sort of art house film story? But in the moment, for now, I'm going to bask in this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do we know what the budget was for Northman, roughly?
We don't, but I can quickly check.
Oh,
I thought it was
didn't mean to give you homework,
around-
Purple. Sorry.
I thought it was around 90 million, but I could be wrong. It's Purple will.
Yes,
Shame
you
you
are.
don't.
You are right on the money.
Wow.
$90 million.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. And we've got the MV Penis is in the chat. This is somebody that
Growing in popularity.
a troubled green wanted to ban this person yesterday, and I advocated to leave the MV Penis where it was. And we'll see if the MV Penis rises to the occasion. We'll definitely give him a
He's
pat
ne-
on the back.
He's never flaccid, not him.
Yes,
No, we've
you-
already got one of those.
You say
Yeah.
let envy penis lie. Yes.
Yeah,
Don't get him too
Yes.
excited.
just
Yeah.
leave him alone.
Yep.
All right. So,
But
okay.
I think it's important that we support movies like Northman.
Agreed.
Go spend money on it buy a ticket, go to the theater if you can, buy some popcorn and sit down and enjoy. And like, there's so few movies right now to look forward to that there's this one, and it's not a summer blockbuster, but you know, let's show them that they can make these films, and we will go and see them.
Yes, and
Yeah.
don't take your kids, please, guys. Even though it's a 15, I think over here, I've got a sneaking suspicion this is going to be hyper violent. So adults only, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the detail and there's also nudity and fight scenes
Mhm.
and nudity. Again, light spoilers. This is a true adult Viking violent saga. This is not your Wokarati blue hair Viking show.
Yes.
So it's going to be good, which I'm pretty
Careful
stoked
with the
about.
nudity word. You might find gray online here a minute.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh. So let's all take a moment and just remember what it felt like to be excited to see a good movie before I take you into the next thing we're going to talk about.
Yes, I'm trying to think what the last film I was really excited for. I think it was actually Joker.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is a mood killer, but here we are. And
Yeah.
this is a movie that I think I did my first video on this. This was one of the, I think the second or third video I ever did on this channel talking about some of the scene leaks where you had Taika Waititi, snuggling up with the king of Asgard and another woman. They're all adults. They can do whatever they want. But as we've seen, whatever we thought was going to happen, whatever bad juju we got from Disney with Loki, Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel 2, Hawkeye, all of that is going to pale in comparison to this woke dumpster fire. Now, am I wrong about that? Am I just being sensational, you guys?
Oh, yeah, this is a film that I kept forgetting was actually coming out. I think I was mentally blocking it because even from the get-go, it sounded like an absolutely ridiculous and unneeded film. It's a Thor film without a lot of Thor in it, but we've got Jane Foster as Thor, so yay, I guess.
Well, we have King Thor, as you can tell, with the cornrows, which I think are culturally appropriated, if you ask me. But yes, we do have a woman who was a woman in the movies who says she's female, who apparently now her only agency can be having the pronoun designation of a monarch as king. I don't know. There have been a lot of queens in the past. And if I remember right, there's an island off the coast of Europe that might have had a queen for a very long time now. Purple, do you know which one I'm talking about?
It seems familiar. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, it does wonder why they gave, I can't even call her Valkyrie because that's not Brunhilde. That's not the Valkyrie that I know from the comics. Why she is King Valkyrie? I think it was in Ragnarok he calls her. He says we need a new king, and that's where the title came from. But again, it's these giving out of titles. I mean, Jane Foster is Thor, but Thor is Thor. That's his name.
Yeah, Thor is Thor, and we're gonna get to this bad guy in a second because he looks like Voldemort's slightly more bangable brother. And but I have so many things open right now. I'm trying to find it. So here we go.
He wasn't made to be easy on the eyes, Corey.
We have dueling MVPs in the chat right now.
Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. I'm multitasking. Wait a minute. MVP, you're supposed to be doing work that you don't want to do right now. It's great to see you, brother. Everybody go subscribe to Maxfield Von Priestley,
Yes.
MVP. Check him out. He's at around the 860 mark. It's the dreaded 800s. He has worked very hard. He's getting his watch hours up, and now he's working for 1,000 subscribers, usually on this show. But tonight he big time us all because he has to do something apparently involving numbers and money and finance and whatever. So you just do whatever you got to do over there, brother. But it's great to see you, Max. So this is the weirdness. This is these toys, as is often the case with a lot of these movies. We saw it with Star Wars. We saw it with Marvel. Here are the toys. And I am going to try and get a little bit closer into this
I want to point something out while you're fiddling with your knob.
Yeah. Man.
Why are they calling her King Valkyrie? Do you remember Odin? Do you remember ever calling him King Odin?
No.
No, you don't need to.
I do remember his sons being called Odin's son.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Mhm.
that problematic?
Mhm.
I Purple, does any of this make any sense? And I don't mean to have you speak for, and again, I'm not a biologist, but for the female gender here. But are you offended? Are you just numb to this? What is your reaction to this?
Honestly, I'm just baffled. I don't know. One, I don't particularly like the actress. I have never liked her in any of the roles that she's been in, particularly as Valkyrie, because obviously Valkyrie is quite close to my heart as a character in the comics. But the fact that she's been elevated to the new king of New Asgard that they've set up, I think there's about 100 and so people left after what Thanos did.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
she's
Yeah.
not exactly in charge of a lot of people. But
She's more like the mayor of Asgard. Not the king
yeah,
of Asgard.
yeah. It's
Yep.
kind of like the like the substitute teacher. Yeah.
So I realize it may be a little small on the screen, but this toy that says the Mighty Thor, that is Jane Foster.
Mm-hmm.
That is 98 100-pound Jane Foster we last saw in Thor Dark World, if I'm not mistaken. Little cameos in Endgame, but I don't really think that counts. Yeah, she's got all of the same stuff Thor does and has Thor's hammer because she is the Mighty Thor. Mighty Thor. Now, this is regular Thor, who's not mighty. He's just Thor.
Having seen this mess, I can see why Thor wants to go off and have adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
He
Yeah.
looks like an unemployed Thor is what he looks like.
Yeah. Well, you've got a Ravager Thor here, who I don't know if he's still fat, and because we have to make fun of strong men. That's men are either stupid or evil. That's intersectional entertainment. But God, it's just okay. We got Star-Lord, who's already comedic relief, and then of course we have everybody's favorite King Valkyrie.
Do you think mighty is her chosen pronoun?
Oh God. And Tessa Thompson, I would never use the C word on Salty's channel, but if anyone's a C word, it's Tessa Thompson, and she ruins everything she's in for every part of it she's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
She is
So
intensely unlikable.
Yeah.
yeah, she's got that swarmy Hollywood. I know things that you don't know, and I've given the Church of Scientology way too much money, so therefore I get to be a dick. Did I just say that? So the Mighty Thor, here it is. Here's 98-pound blonde AF Mighty Thor. Jane Foster's life is forever changed when she mysteriously comes to possess. God, just go home, Marvel. Phase 4, you're drunk. So it gets Mjolnir and the power of the Mighty Thor.
Natalie Portman wishes she had biceps that big.
I like having that picture. Mjolnir is all cracked still from Ragnarok, so if she hits it too hard, hopefully it just disintegrates.
It's that toxic feminine.
And then look at this. We got Voldemort's, transitioning younger brother. That's all that I see with Gore. That is not the Gore. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's Willem
No.
Dafoe was Nosferatu. That's what that is.
I mean, I literally, again, we're at this place of, I know Gore is kind of a deep comic book character, and I'm not going to profess to say that I know everything that there is to know about Gore, because I don't, but I can and do have the ability to look at old comic books and to see what the character was supposed to look like. So this is fascinating. Now, remember that image that we just saw, and I am going to jump around here because I have 8 million tabs open. And remember that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think at this point Christian Bale is regretting decisions that he made?
I think he is. I
hope so.
don't know how you don't at this point. I think a lot of people came into this universe hearing one thing, and what we got is another. And what am I? Hold on,
It's there. It's there, Corey. The gore?
Okay, because I couldn't pull it up. Sorry.
It's there.
Okay, cool. So this is the character we're supposed to get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Marvel
And
are kind of phoning it in, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the coof. That's what they're going to blame this on. That's what we're going to blame this on. The coof, right?
Of course.
Like the making. I know there's a female Thor in the comics, and in a vacuum, I guess it would be fine. But they've done this with every single character. That's all Phase 4 is. It's like they've got a tick or something, and so someone in charge just keeps saying, "Make it a girl. We'll make it a girl," for every story. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And in this case, honestly, this is the concept art. And that was my dog who decided to come in and say hello. This is the concept art. Hey, Hank. This is the concept art that they sold the character of Gore as. I'm sure when, oh God, what's his name? Signed out to play this purple.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't want to play a character that looked like that? I mean, that's scary as hell. That character looks intimidating. And then, of course, like I said, we have the other one, which it's like a bad Halloween costume. There's really, I'll bounce back to it.
Yes. The one thing I've noticed with a lot of these Thor movies is the villains are really lacking, other than Hela, who looked fantastic. But if you think the elves that they had were pretty lackluster, Gore looks pretty bad. He looks like the Mummy.
Yeah. This is what we were promised. This is what they were telling us we were going to get when Taika Waititi was still running his mouth about how he's going to ruin our mythos in a minute, baby. And this is what we get. It looks like Mummy is what it looks like.
He's got leprosy.
Yeah, well, it's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Thor 4, raise your hand in chat if you can't wait to go see this movie. I'm just baffled by all of this, guys. I really am. Do you really think at this point they just knew what they had was a woke dumpster fire? And I'm wondering, do you think they just decided to not spend money on CG for this because who cares anyway? I mean, legitimate question. Do you think we've reached that phase?
Speaking of CG, would you guys like to see a buff Natalie Portman?
Oh no. Oh, what's gonna happen?
When you say buff, in the buff or
no, just buffed up as in
Oh yeah. Okay. I remember this.
See, this picture has been doing the rounds for a while, and I was praying that it was either photoshopped or she was wearing some sort of suit. Never got an explanation for it, but it always made me laugh.
Are you sure this is an Elliot? Are you sure this is an Elliot Page maybe a couple of months ago?
I think it's a grainy picture of Chris Hemsworth with Natalie Portman's head on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Chris Hemsworth, or one of his brothers. Yeah,
the short one.
Yeah,
the short Hemsworth.
Although let's be honest, with the way Hollywood is now, and everybody chopping things on, or sewing things on, or taking this, or doing that, it's just weird. It's just weird. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's a strange one.
What do you guys? Oh, we got Tim's talk. Let me do some shouting out to people in the chat. Hey, lovely Sherry. Hail to Punk Waddle, modding, our Penguin Sheriff. Hail to Tim's talk. It's great to see everybody here tonight. We've got 23 in the chat. Yeah. Do you think at some point when these movies were in production that somebody literally just said, we are so screwed, stop spending money on this, but we're committed to it? I mean, it's a legit question. I really wonder. I mean, what movie in Marvel Phase 4 made money? Shang-Chi, The Legends of Shang-Chi made like $4 and change after everything was said. Is there been anything in Marvel Phase 4 that has made any real money for Disney or for Marvel?
No, I think what they're banking on is going to be Doctor Strange. I think that's what they're hoping will bring in the big bucks.
That's probably right. Yeah.
Hmm. But this one, everyone's they're clamoring for a trailer, but we still haven't had a trailer, which is a bit odd, considering the film's out in a couple of months.
Well, aren't they
Punk
still doing
Waddle.
reshoots on it?
Most likely, yes, and
Yeah,
probably will be
they
up until
were.
the day of release. Yes.
And yeah, sorry, you guys, I haven't been bouncing this out because I'm doing a double duty. So Punk Waddle says Salty's deepfakes are better than what we just saw with the Natalie Portman.
Yes.
I would agree.
Not
I
wrong.
think Purple would have. Well, good, Punk Waddle. I want to cut of that. But as you can tell, if you haven't watched it, be sure to go back and watch the opener for tonight. We had a bunch of new deepfakes, including Purple Valkyrie has someone from The Mummy, and I was Frankenstein because I can be. So who else do we have here tonight? Yeah, no, you guys, I just, man, I long for the days of waiting for Infinity War to come out and waiting for Endgame to come out. And I agree with you, Jaden Hamilton. I'm not excited for the multiverses at all, especially since it seems like that the multiverses aren't multiversy enough and they have to keep adding more crap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you guys getting that sense? I mean, how many, like Adam West is Batman? I've heard that. I've had that. Nick Cage is Batman. I've heard that. I've heard they're going to deep fake Christopher Reeves. It's like, you know, everybody's talking about Professor X from the original X-Men. That doesn't make a movie. Am I being unfair? I'm going to kick it out to you, Purple and Zaxx.
It just seems that they are definitely preying on people's nostalgia and, you know, harking back to much better films. I think if you've got to bring characters from much better films into your film, then how good is the film to begin with? That's what I would say.
I think this is it's one of those things where you have no quality ingredients left, so you just throw as much into it as possible. And like at a restaurant where they have a buffet that no one eats at, the next day they have stew that just happens to have pieces from the buffet the day before in it. You know,
and that's the one next to the animal shelter. I know
exactly.
Which one you're
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to eat that either.
Yeah, it's a boatload. It's a boatload of fan service, and then they're sitting there saying, "Okay, let's write a script around the fan service moments."
Mm-hmm.
And it just there's nothing genuine about it. And then as a result, there's nothing good about it. It just ends up being this nasty stew that Zaxx was talking about.
Here's, you know, you guys just triggered something for me, and in a good way, not in a Twitter blue hair way. We say the word fan service, and they used to use that as a derogatory term against us for Star Wars. Now we say we want fan service, and I think we all do. But fan service, in my opinion, is not what they think it means. Now, you guys, tell me if you tell me what your version of what fan service is. Is it a never-ending rotating carousel of member berries stuck into a story that lacks a hero's journey, or is it still about the core 3-act play with good characters, good story, and all of the Christmas lights flashing are just a distraction?
Yeah, I think that hits the nail right on the head. It's, you know, it's all about writing the good story. If you want to put little fan service bits in there, okay, but that doesn't add anything to it. Like when we went and watched the prequels in the movie theaters, and then you had the parts where like, oh, this droid's name is R2D2, and then everybody around the theater started clapping, and I'm sitting there thinking, it added nothing. There was that there's no depth to that type of fan service. If you want to do fan service, then build a story around those kind of elements that actually enhances the element of that fan service. Don't sit there and just put out there like it's a bunch of platitudes. It becomes annoying and worthless.
Yes, absolutely. And if you think, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home, we had Toby and Andrew brought back, and you could argue that that was fan service, but the way that they were brought back and incorporated into the film was done so well. It wasn't disrespectful to either the people watching or to the previous films.
That's exactly it. That was probably the best example of fan service that we've had maybe in decades.
Mm-hmm.
Just bad. Yeah. It bothers me that they want to sit there and put in all these things that, like, oh, well, you like this when we had this in this movie. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean I like it now. That kind of stuff, the movie enjoyable. The reason why I appreciated like Boba Fett in the original Star Wars trilogy was because he was a dark, mysterious character. Well, now you sit there and you take off his helmet, put him in a television show, and where he's nothing like the dark, mysterious element that he was in the original trilogy. That's nothing. There's no depth to it. There's nothing redeeming about the story, and so therefore I'm not giving it a damn bit of time.
Yes, you take away the mystery of a character, and it you noob to the character in essence, and sadly that's what they seem to have done with Boba Fett.
Well, one of the worst things about Boba Fett that bothered me near the end was he doesn't wear his helmet, but yet he takes it everywhere with him. So he's got one arm was always busy with his stupid helmet that he's not gonna put on. And even the last episode, he complains because his arm was hurt. So he has one injured arm, and the other one's holding a helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out in a dangerous area and not wear the thing that protects my skull.
Yeah. And I'm gonna occupy my other hand with it. Perfect. Brilliant.
Let me get to this super chat. I actually want to continue on with this concept of fan service. This is from Waracy. Did I say that correct? Hail to you. I think you're new in the chat. It's great to see you. It's a $5 super chat. It says studios have attacked the fans for so long. They have lost their core audience, and like Aquagirl, shat the bed. An Amber reference there. Very well played.
Yeah,
Very
well
played.
Well timed.
That's fan service.
There's another. Ooh, no, that's room service. Cleaning your bed. That's what that is. That's. Oh boy, that's buy new sheets time. That's what that is. I'll tell you what, Waracy, I'm going to go ahead and give you something out of the bag of tricks. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat.
We travel light. That is handsome walk.
Oh, I loved that fan service. I loved what Peter Jackson did in service of the Tolkien family. I think, and this is the thing where fan service, and I was thinking about it while you guys were talking. We all wanted Luke Skywalker. We all wanted to see Luke Skywalker. That's all we ever wanted to come back. And they gave us one little tease in, what was it, in Mando season 1. And now, he shows up in, what is it? Is it the Boba Fett show, which I can't believe we have I still don't know what the hell they were thinking by turning Boba Fett into Mando season 1.5. But none of us, I think they say like, oh my God, they love Luke Skywalker. Let's bring back Luke Skywalker and little baby Yoda. And they think that's good enough, and I think that they completely missed the point that yes, we would like to have Luke Skywalker, and yes, we would like to have all these things, but we'd like it to be a good story too. Go ahead, Zaxx.
Okay, so for me, the fan service they should have done for us with Luke would have been in the first sequel movie to have Luke and Leia, Han, and Chewie together again on the Millennium Falcon for one scene, and that's fan service well done. Having Luke de-aged, Uncanny Valley doing front flips with another Yoda, that's not the fan service I want. That's lazy. Yeah.
Purple, did you watch Boba Fett at all, or Mandalorian, I guess?
I watched Mandalorian. I didn't watch Boba Fett. I do know what went on because a lot of people obviously were talking about it, so I kind of got the information vicariously through other people, but I didn't actually sit down and watch it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nathan, we've talked about Star Wars a little bit. So yeah, I mean, we don't just want Luke Skywalker on the screen with a deep fake with little baby Yoda. That's not fan service. What that is it's exploitation.
Yeah, completely. And I'm sorry, but my wallet is tired of being exploited for nonsense. So I have been to the movie theater. We took the kids to see Spider-Man, and that's the first time since I think The Hobbit was in the theaters.
Wow.
Wow.
Let me get to this super chat. This is $2 from Daniel. Says, dress Vapid Ray like Luke, and we suddenly like her. It's true. And steal his last name, and be able to use the Force without any training, and and then have like some weird teenage girl like Instagram relationship with the guy who tried to kill her and tortured her, because that makes sense. Hail to you, Daniel. Let me go ahead and give you something out of the bag of tricks.
Why Bilbo Baggins? Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. It gives me courage.
Hail again to you, Daniel. Yeah, Punkwaddle says the issue about story is, where are you going with the story? If there is no story arc, then it doesn't matter what cool things you throw on screen. If it goes nowhere, people aren't excited to go back. It's true. And I think we have seen that, especially with Boba Fett. I think we have seen it profoundly with Disney Plus, with every successive show and being released, having the viewership fall off a cliff. And again, I mean, the last Spider-Man movie was enjoyed and loved because it was a pretty good story. It was just incidental that all of these appearances were there, in my opinion. I mean, you guys, was that your take on Spider-Man? And then we'll move on to the next topic.
Definitely. And the Spider-Man, why it works so well is, yes, there was fan service, but it stayed true to the characters and who they were. They didn't do anything out of their character, and it had some great moments that tied together that even if you didn't recognize them from the other films, like Andrew Garfield, The Big Catch, that's enjoyable even if you don't know why that's so important. You don't need to know that. You can still like it. It's still a good story. It's still well told. And it's even better if you have the history and the knowledge going into it. That's fan service done right, to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. And I like the character of Doctor Strange. I didn't really like the movie. I didn't. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a decent Doctor Strange, but at this point, the fact that Doctor Strange is still a man, I guess we have to give points just for that in the MCU.
Yeah. Well, if you want a good Doctor Strange story, there was a cartoon that gave his origin story that they did, and I can't remember when that was, but I remember watching that before I went and saw, or when the original Doctor Strange movie was out, and I thought, wow, that's a good cartoon. And it was better than what Marvel presented as Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And we've got Maria with T and Telly. Hey, cheers to you. You and I tag each other on Twitter sometimes. It's great to see you. Hello,
Maria.
So this is an article that from a site that I don't normally go to, but because Purple Valkyrie cracks the whip around here. Boys, she is a cruel taskmaster, and what Purple Valkyrie wants, by God, we better give her. So we are, of course, on the most trusted site ever for fandom, for anything you ever want to know. CBR, Purple. Let's go. Thanks. I heard you audibly moan over there, Zach. So, as always, it's good for a laugh. It's good for a lark. We have comic book resources, and this is covering a show that I know, Purple, you actually are enjoying. And you have some theories on this, and I'll let you take the lead on this, and you just tell me to scroll or do whatever I need to do on this show.
Yes, absolutely. This comes from, as you say, the ever reliable CRB.com, which is, if not 100% accurate. It's always good for a laugh, as you say. But this one, I've actually seen kind of around. It's been floating around this idea for the past couple of days, ever since the first episode came out. So basically, what they're saying is, have we actually had Doctor Doom introduced into the MCU, and has it been via Moon Knight? So I just scroll down. It's they first of all they thought that when his castle was first shown, that was a almost direct copy of Doctor Doom's castle from the comics. And I can kind of see what they were talking about. It did very much like, but obviously we were in the Alps, and there are a lot of castles in the Alps. It doesn't mean that we were actually in Latveria. In that particular episode, but yeah, this article says that the villain that we have come to know, Arthur Harrow, as played by Ethan Hawke, may actually, in fact, be Doctor Doom in disguise.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Now, I don't think that this is the case. I think that, Doom being the character that he is, I think he's going to have a much more grand entrance than a kind of side character in a TV show that not a lot of people know the characters anyway. I think that it would be a very unwise decision for them to do this kind of bait and switch, which I think I think that this particular theory is unfounded, but it was interesting, I thought, nonetheless. I think that Ethan Hawke's character is just Arthur Harrow, although, like pretty much all of the Moon Knight characters, he doesn't really bear much of a resemblance to the comic book characters and origins.
Is that a distraction for you, Purple? Are you viewing Moon Knight as sort of its own animal, just because at this point Disney is what Disney's going to do, or do you see something that is, I guess, at a fundamental level, because you do love these characters, that it's hitting some of the notes for you?
More it was a curiosity to me. I knew of the character, but he was never one that I really delved into. So I'm coming at it kind of, although I'm a big comic book fan, very fresh to the character. And to be honest, not really liking any of the previous shows other than WandaVision for about the first 4 episodes. I was very much surprised how much I was actually enjoying Moon Knight. These first 2 episodes have been, if not, incredible TV, they have been at least enjoyable. I think Oscar Isaacs has really carried the character and the plot forward. He is a fantastic actor, and any time that he and Ethan Hawke are on scene together, they really play off each other really well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm enjoying the series a lot. So, and yeah, I am. And it's not. I think it's easy to get upset about it, but it's been. I think he's done a great job, Oscar Isaac, and he does a good job embodying physically both of the aspects of his character. You can really tell the difference between he's Mark Spector or Stephen Grant. I don't. The Stephen Grant stuff, I have not been a big fan of, because he kind of sucks more than you'd think he should. But overall, I've enjoyed the show so far. Yeah.
Yes, I think we've got a lot more twists coming. I won't say what the spoiler is for anybody who is, really invested in it, but there is much more to see with this character, more personalities to be brought in. And it does say here, they're talking about Ethan Hawke being a A-list actor, so he is almost wasted in the role. They say, thus it's easy to see Harrow being a red herring with Hawke, hiding in plain sight as Doom, using a different identity to mask that he is really the Latvian ruler.
I wasn't sure if anybody was saying that with a straight face, that Ethan Hawke is an A-list actor. He certainly was in the early 90s. He was in the early 90s, he has done a lot of art house stuff recently, and of course he did that film with what was it, Training Day, with Denzel Washington. That was a crazy movie, but it's not exactly like his name has been rolling off everybody's tongue for the last decade or so. You know?
Not really, and I do like him. I think he's a
Yeah.
talented actor, and I think he's great in
Mhm.
this. But yeah, he's not A-list anymore. But it does. They're really sticking with this theory. It says it'd be a nice spin on the villain who's known for physical masks, with Harrow wearing a spiritual one. That's. I hope they stretched before they made that reach. Disguised as this cult leader with a very sinister purpose. This would allow Doom to make his base, build an army of human drones, as opposed to Doombots, and start a global movement to follow him. After all, Doom has always craved power, and more so the control of minds. So, rather than tech, Harrow could be the key to organically having people become Doom's freedom fighters.
I think it would be cool. Go ahead, Zaxx.
That's a fishing expedition that they've done for that. That's what that is. Like they're really reaching. And if you're going to bring Doctor Doom in, he's a much bigger name than anyone else on the show. So you're not going to bury that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a castle. Great. That's it.
I mean, so would you really start it on Disney Plus? That's the question. You know?
From what I've heard, his introduction will be either at the end of the second Black Panther film, or they are going to hold on to him until if we eventually get this Fantastic Four movie.
I would like to see Ethan Hawke be Dr. Doom. I think he would be good. I do think there are other actors that would be fantastic at it, like Mads Mikkelsen, I think would be one. I think Clive Owen would potentially be a really good guy too. The guy who should have been James Bond. I'm going to say that till the day I die. Oh my God. Zaxx just hit me with the cattle prod.
Yep.
I got to get to this super chat. This is our very good friend. This is Lyle Hammock. Hello, Mrs. Hammock, and hello, little baby Hammock. This is a $50 super chat. Lyle, thank you. Thank you very much. He says, "Hey all, speaking of fan service, I enjoyed Sonic 2. It's a great example of respect and love for the fans. It's sad that the Sonic creators figured this out, but other franchises haven't. Also, my God, Moon Knight is boring. Sorry."
I totally respect Lyle.
Absolutely. That's fine. I know a lot of people really don't like it and they hate the character of Steven. So I can totally respect that.
Lyle, tell us in chat what is it that you found boring? Was it the story? Was it Oscar Isaac? Was it the villains? Is it the pacing? Because I'd love to see that. So Lyle, thank you. You are very kind, very generous. You've been a friend of this channel for a very, very long time, and it's wonderful to see you. Let me give you something out of the bag of tricks.
You should have stayed dead.
I wish I could watch more of that. I'll tell you that. Lyle.
Love that.
I know. Anytime you got Elrond with a sword, and the real Elrond, not the short bus haircut Elrond from the Rings of Power.
Oh, come on. Who can say no to the quaff?
Me.
Before we get off Moon Knight, I wanted to ask Purple if it seems to me like they're pushing towards having Layla take over as Moon Knight. Do you think that's going to happen?
Knowing the MCU, quite possibly. I mean, I hope that they don't. Like I say, I think that it would be a huge waste of Oscar Isaac's talent if he wasn't, the main character for. And we've only got 6 episodes. This isn't like a 15-episode run that they could do. So please, just keep him front and center.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Disney Plus. I'm kind of out on Disney. I was out on Disney before it was cool. So
I don't have it either.
Neither do I.
Oh yes, sorry. Air quotes.
Yeah.
Never mind. Ahoy there, matey. Prepare to be boarded. Arr, yeah. Holly wants a VPN. Let's say that. So yeah.
So in other words, Corey, you're the only one without someone else's password.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing too is honestly, anything that Disney may have done from the past, I probably already have on DVD. And there were things that I did want to watch from an editorial perspective, but I think there are other channels that are covering this, including Purple with Moon Knight, where I'll take their takes on this, just like I hope people take my takes on the Wheel of Time and other things that I cover. So I can live vicariously through your pain or mild bemusement for shows that you hate or don't like, you know. And I mean, Disney's already shown me who they are. And you know, I'm not gonna fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. That's my problem. You know what I mean? So thank you again, Lyle.
I didn't expect to like Moon Knight, so I want to make sure I say that too. I'm as surprised as everyone else that so far I've enjoyed it.
I was shocked, you guys, when and again, I'm not judging. There's never any judgment here. I just thought it was really fascinating. And it's great because we have dissenting voices, and that's what this fandom is. I'm not going to call you a racist, an istophobe, or a Russian bot, or any of that stuff because we have a difference of opinion. Just a heads up. So
perfect.
It's that time, boys and girls.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your Nick Cage moment. So we can't go a week without Nick Cage saying something pretty cool. We've already talked about the fact that he is going to be Dracula in the very cool movie Renfield. We also know that his new movie is, I think it actually comes out. Is it out in the UK, Purple?
It's not out yet. I believe it's out soon, though. So it's another one that I'm looking forward to.
April 22nd, I believe. Nick Cage's movies and The Northman comes out here in North America. So that is an interesting head-to-head matchup. But I thought this was interesting because this was an article that was all over the place, and it was based out of, I believe it was a men's magazine. But Nick Cage was on Reddit. Believe it or not. God bless him. So he was... Yeah. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent comes out April 22nd again, which is the same day as The Northman.
Yes, it's actually the 22nd over here as well. So
cheers.
That will be on the list too.
So Nick Cage went on Reddit and answered a bunch of random questions, and these really are pretty random. But he also was in GQ magazine a couple of weeks ago. They asked him, would he be interested in playing Ghost Rider again? And he said, "Oh, I don't think so. They're probably not going to cast me. I mean, I would do it. It would be fun. I'd like to work with Cumberpatch, you know, meaning obviously Doctor Strange, but he doesn't think that's going to be happening." So, but
yes, I would like to see him back. I actually liked his Ghost Rider, and if the rumor's true that we are getting the Midnight Suns group being brought in, then that would fit right in with Ghost Rider being brought back, because we know Blade is being brought in, and we've also got Werewolf by Night as well coming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so here's the question: who would you rather have? Nick Cage back as Ghost Rider, Norman Reedus, or the to be revealed female young
Tessa Thompson?
POC, because those are literally the two again, I keep bringing this up, those are the two options that they've been talking about for Ghost Rider. What everybody wants, Norman Reedus, who absolutely I think would be a perfect Ghost Rider, or the 16-year-old 100-pound POC female. Although I'm not a biologist, they just put female on her title. It's baffling.
We have a Rose super sticker from Miss Martin Uses for 99 cents. Thank you very much. Teresa?
Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, sorry, I'm on this article. Yeah, I mean, Nick Cage, I would take him back as Ghost Rider. I just think it needs to be better written this time around. It just really does. He also answered questions on Kick-Ass. Now, I got to tell you guys, I've never seen the movie Kick-Ass. Should I see the movie Kick-Ass? Yes or no?
Yes, I really like Kick-Ass. I like both of them. I like the comic as well. Again, hyper violent, but it plays a really good role. I enjoyed it.
I'm with you. I enjoyed both, and I loved Nick Cage in it especially.
Mm-hmm.
He was great.
Good to know. That's good to know. So they were asking him questions about that. When you were crafting your performance in Kick-Ass, was Adam West the biggest inspiration of your superhero persona? He said that he based it all on Adam West Batman. He grew up watching the classic Batman TV show in the 60s, and that is who he modeled his character Big Daddy on. And that I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that I believe.
Yeah. And then, of course, the last thing we'll cover is we all know, again, where franchises go to die, Disney Plus. They, of course, are rebooting National Treasure. And if I remember correctly, I know. Just, at what point does this become like a federal offense for necrophilia? I mean, just leave these things alone.
I'm convinced it's a money laundering scam at this point.
Honestly, and I saw the cast. I mean, it was all the sort of, late teens, the United Nations, late teens representation cast. So will there be a National Treasure? They asked him. He said no. The priority was to turn it into a TV show, so he's absolutely not going to be doing that as well. Interesting, though, and this goes back to Purple. This may excite you. We were talking about the Universal Studios monsters, and obviously Nick Cage is playing Dracula.
Yes, indeed.
Nick Cage says that he has always wanted to play Captain Nemo in a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea movie.
Okay. I don't know about that, but okay.
How do you feel about that, Purple? Would you like to see Nick Cage as Captain Nemo?
I'm biased because I would see Nick Cage play pretty much anything, including Nick Cage. But I don't know. I'm kind of with you on that. I can't quite picture him as Captain Nemo. As much as I like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I thought it was a great film, but not quite feeling it. Now, if they did Extraordinary League of Gentlemen, I could see him playing that Captain Nemo if they did a decent remake of that, because that was a absolutely terrible film.
I agree. No, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a great graphic novel, and but could we trust anybody to make anything now? I mean, we got one guy, we got David Eggers, but the guy, he literally have to have in his contract that this is a benevolent dictatorship. This is not by committee.
You know what, though, guys? I have to call you out on this because it's not League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's LXG, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
That's what they called it last time. Yeah.
You crazy Canadians with your crazy acronyms.
Yeah.
Oh, Ohio's back in the house. We have Nathan back.
Sorry,
and we have
that.
a super chat from Lyle Hammock.
Let me get to this one. This is from Lyle Hammock. Hail again, brother. And hail to Mrs. Hammock and hail to Little Hammock. So $5 says, also, Salty, I put my email in the chat. Make sure Zaxx gets it to you. Zaxx, can you make sure that it gets to me? Because I can't copy that.
Yeah.
Also, is Nick Cage paying you under the table? Well, I'm not going to say that I suddenly have a new castle, but I suddenly have a new castle. And I cannot reveal, based upon the guidance from my solicitor, that I cannot reveal who I was transferred this title for $1, but the initials may just be NC. So hail to you, Lyle Hammock. Oh, you guys are quick. You see through all these things. Here's something from the Bag of Tricks. I think it's about time to watch The Hobbit again. Purple, when was the last time you watched The Hobbit all the way through?
About 6 weeks ago, I watched all three of them. The extended editions, of course.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, I haven't seen them. I think I saw the Battle of the Five Armies. It's got to be about 6 months ago, but it might be time now to watch the first Hobbit movie. I would like to do that. So
Yes, I think we need to watch as much fantastic Tolkien as we can just to kind of steel ourselves for the oncoming storm.
I'm just gonna
And
wait
we
for the
will-
Amazon remake of The Hobbit before I watch it again. That's gonna be awesome.
it'll be oh, I can't say that. I'll lose my channel. I agree with you. We'll just say that, Zaxx. We'll just say that.
Nothing makes
Don't
my
worry.
heart flutter like gender fluid Bilbo.
Do you mean transmission fluid? Oh no, never mind. We can't call it tranny fluid anymore, can we?
He finds himself on the journey.
A magical journey of self-discovery and hormone treatment. So we will get into some Lord of the Rings news tonight. We will. Purple, I might have skipped over the Doctor Doom cosplay. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, we can, because we can kind of tie it into Lord of the Rings and obviously your beloved Wheel of Time as well.
Yes,
Would you like to do that one first? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, vamp for me while I go back and find it. So
that's okay. I've got it. Let me share screen and I will bring it up if that's okay.
Cheers. Let me
there we go.
Back to this.
Oops.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Waiting for the link. We're a real professional establishment here. There is lag. There it is. We've got it now. Here we go.
There we go. YouTube is acting very weird today.
It really is. It really is. So thanks for hanging with us, you guys. So Purple, you were so excited. You brought this up last week. We didn't get to it. I'm excited to have you talk to me about this because I know of your passion for cosplay.
Absolutely, yes, and obviously my love for a certain armored villain. Yes, this came out a couple of weeks ago, so this is from mid-March. But I kind of wandered across it as we do when we're looking for stories, and it just kind of struck me. I thought it was pretty cool. So, talking about bringing Doctor Doom into the MCU, this seems to be one of the things that has a lot of people hyped. But I will absolutely agree with what they say here. Doctor Doom cosplay proves comic accurate armor is essential. So it says Doctor Doom's design and iconic armor is key to the Marvel villain's appeal, and one fan's brilliant cosplay proves it's essential to any adaptation. So if we scroll down a little bit, it gives a bit of backstory, but this is the cosplay that they are talking about.
Wow.
Let
me get to
incredible.
Let me get to the super chat so we can go full screen on this, okay? This is from Thunder Sensei. Hail to you, Thunder Sensei, for a $9.99 super chat. Thank you. That's really generous. Says Universal actually did attempt an extended universe. It died with Tom Cruise's terrible version of The Mummy. No, Purple loves that. And all the stipulations in his contract. Hail to you, Thunder Sensei. Let me give you something from the bag of tricks. Here you go.
I am no man.
I love that clip. I love that clip so much. I do. My God. Oh, take that, Witch King. Hail to you, Thunder Sensei. We'll vamp this for a second. Purple, we've talked about Tom Cruise's The Mummy. I actually have a deep fake of you as the Mummy character, which I am going to put in. That Mummy, the Tom Cruise terrible version Mummy. I will put it in the future.
It was in today.
No. I made a version of it that I didn't put it in.
Okay, you didn't put it in. I put it together.
Didn't want you to hurt me, so I didn't do that today. Maybe in the future I will. So, but yeah, I mean, how hard is it to make these great movies from the 50s? Go and watch the movie. It's either from the 40s or the 50s. With the original Mummy movie, it is terrifying. It is straight up terrifying. And that movie is what, 80? 80, 90 years old? Same thing with Bela Lugosi's Dracula. And we talked about it with Gothic Therapy last week. That is scare the hell out of you. These movies are old, like they are from our grandparents' generation. They came out when our grandparents were kids. And these movies are still terrifying. They're transcendent. And we have Tom Cruise making a Mummy movie that nobody even wanted to buy out a Redbox for $2.99 as a used DVD.
No, I wanted Redbox to pay me to watch it.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all very true. But hail to you, Thunder Sensei 150. Yeah, keep Tom Cruise out of the Monsterverse. Keep Nick Cage in, and I would say put Willem Dafoe in as well. But I agree with you, and thank you so much for the super chat. Purple, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen for you so we can look at what we got.
Thank you. Yes, this, and somebody said, is that actually a person in costume and not a miniature? This is absolutely a person who in costume, because you can see his eyes behind the mask. But yes, look at the work and the detail that he's put into this. So this
That's
is
incredible.
from a gentleman by the name of Christian Pereira. So well done to him. But it just goes to show, and we've talked about this before, and we've talked about it in regards to Word of Time. We've talked about it with the upcoming Lord of the Rings, how important it is to make your characters look like they fit in the world that you've created. And Doctor Doom is it's a perfect example of that. We've had many different versions of him, and tragically, the best version that we've actually seen was the one that Corbin made, that was never meant to actually be released. The last one that we had was Fan Stick by Josh Trank, and he looks absolutely horrific. So I am praying that if they do ever bring him into the MCU, they actually respect the character the same way that they did Thanos. Thanos had the perfect introduction, and that's what this character needs as well.
Well, they took their time. That was the thing about the MCU, and I think that's why people were so invested in it, is it took the time to build the world. And it did so in the beginning, one movie at a time. And then once there was synergy, once we got the gang together, once we got the first Avengers movie, like, we've already had plenty of foreplay with these characters. We've already had origins established, characters established through actions, not by telling us, but by actions. And not everybody was a 14-year-old girl who may or may not be gender fluid. You know what I mean? These were adults that did adult things, that had to suffer to earn their way on the hero's journey. And, with somebody like Dr. Doom, I hope you're right, Purple. It would be so great to get another iconic old school baddie that is brought in slowly, that is hinted at in cutscenes, maybe for a couple of movies. And I don't know. I don't know. Why do we think they are incapable of doing that now?
I think because of the track record that we've seen, especially you guys were talking about Wheel of Time and how disrespectful they were to those characters. And I know we've talked about it in the past as well, but the level of detail and care that Weta put into making the Lord of the Rings, the armor, the weapons, the background, just the tapestries on the walls, the love that went into making these films made such an incredible difference. The actor that played Theoden, he said that when he was putting his armor on the inside, it's got a print of horses. Now, nobody but him ever saw that, but he said wearing that made him feel like a king.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't drank enough for a rant like that, but I agree with you. And it's fascinating because, I do clips of this show every week, and the one where we were talking about that in Weta Workshop, Zaxx and Purple, is about to hit 3,000 views.
Nice. That's awesome.
When we talk about these things, it's resonating with people. And again, I'm humbled by that. I'm very blessed to have both of you on this panel, along with the MVP-ness, who sometimes, rears his ugly head and joins us. And, but it's
like that.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
not that head.
Get your mind out of the gut over there, kid. But yeah, I mean, it's just the things is the other thing is the video that I put out, now I'm Canadian, yesterday. People are seeing these things. We are not alone. We are not crazy. The argument, if you don't like it, don't watch it, has failed. They're going to keep telling us that, but it has failed. the Emperor has no clothes. All we want is our good stories. We want the full 12 steps of the hero's journey. We don't need any more diversity and representation or any of that stuff, especially with Doctor Doom. These characters could make them billions. And I think they have hidden behind the ESG score stuff for a while, but even the ESG scores and the funds that have invested in them have all lost money. And this is not a financial show, nor do I give stock advice, but they have lost close to double-digit percentages betting on these values. So let me get to the. Go ahead, Zaxx.
They have no patience with these anymore. Like the Thanos was, like you said, it was drawn out over time and it was hinted at and teased at, and you knew it was going to be something big. But these this last series of movies, they're not even really connected to anything. And they don't appear to be going anywhere. And so I agree. I'd love to see Doctor Doom made a big deal. Like he should be a big deal. And they should give him build up and they should give him real power. And I hope they do that. But they don't seem to have the patience that they used to. It's kind of like a sweatshop making Marvel movies now.
Pretty much.
Yes. And we've talked about it. It goes from film to TV to TV to film. It's a springboard one into the other. There's no time for the audience to kind of breathe and, take in what they've seen, whereas in the past with the MCU we had a couple of years between each of the films where we could get the hype going again and look forward to whatever they were bringing out.
Yeah, I mean, and let me get to this super chat, but I'm going to ask you guys a question to think about when we come back from the video, which is, which movie in the MCU for you signified or was the warning sign of what we have seen go 100% pegged to 11 now? Let me get to the super chat first. This is from our good friend Daniel. Hail to you, brother. For $5 US, says, if they were smart, they would simply start a brand new universe with just the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom and let the MCU die with phase farce. That's a good take. Let me get you something out of the bag of tricks, and here we go.
Not a lot. Go hit him!
Somewhere, I imagine, MV Penis is smiling because I think that is probably his favorite clip. Hail to you, Daniel. Let's do a quick take on this, Purple. If they were smart, they would simply start a brand new universe with just the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. What do you think about that?
I think that's probably how they should have started at least one of the previous phases. The Fantastic Four are the first family of Marvel Comics. It baffles me that they haven't been introduced before now. You would have thought that they would have been, a much more prominent role in a lot of these stories. But it seems that either they didn't know what to do with them, or because of such bad press that the previous Fantastic Four film had, they didn't want anything to do with these characters. Not that I can blame them.
Did you like Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman? Are you?
Do you know what I did? It was the fan stick that really killed it. I mean, I know there was the rights issue that they had. They didn't have the ownership of them at the time. But yeah, I'm worried. Honestly, I'm very, very worried as to what they're going to do with these characters.
Zaxx, what's your take? Do you have any skin in the game on the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom in general? Any love, or is it just kind of another IP for you?
I do like Doctor Doom, but I've never really been into the Fantastic Four. I could be, but I've just, in the comics, they were kind of, when I was collecting, they were kind of off to the side for me. I was more of like an X-Men kind of a kid. And so I didn't really read them, and unless I had to for some connected universe thing, like Secret Wars. And so I don't have an attachment to them, but they're great characters that could be done well, but they felt vanilla back then. And I think what Marvel's done recently with them, or Fox had done, was to try to shake it up, but in the wrong way. I think you should go back and start from scratch with those characters. I think they're worth it.
Nathan, what about you? Do you have any love for Fantastic Four or for Doom as a character?
To be honest, I have not followed any of that. Even when I was a kid, like Zaxx, I was a fan of like the X-Men comic book show. But I never really knew much about Doctor Doom. I knew that he was just this big bad that was, something to behold. Never followed in on it. Yeah, I think it would be a great idea to sit there and take these characters. I remember the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four group, and I think I was more interested in just watching Jessica, but
Yeah,
at the same
I remember that scene.
Guilty as charged.
It's like, she's Jessica, but it's you could have a very good set of movies with those. And if you've got to be able to take the time to sit down and actually write it. And I think the comment earlier about, lack of patience, they don't have the patience to do that. Everything's cookie cutter. Everything's got to have, you've got to have this story plot line in it. You've got to have this kind of thing in there, and you've got to have this kind of thing in there. And then you got to write around those little things. And that's why they're able to sit there and pop out this television show, this little television show, this little television show, and then ham fist a connection in there somewhere. And everybody at that point just gets extremely disinterested. And I'm there. I have not watched MCU stuff since Endgame. It just
okay.
I'm done with the superhero stuff for the moment. I'm burnt out. It needs a good story is what it needs.
Question for Purple, because she knows the brand better than anyone else, I think. How would you start with the Fantastic Four? How would you introduce those characters?
Yes. Honestly, the way they would have to do it is the origin story of them, going into space, getting their powers. If they had done it before, I could imagine them tying it in with maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, having some sort of crossover that way. Or having the introducing Galactus and bringing him as a huge threat, as they did with the previous films, but not have him as a giant cloud this time.
So you're saying you want Nick Cage as Galactus, just like I, right?
Yes, I want Nick Cage as Galactus. Yes, 1,000 times, yes.
No, I mean, Kyle, you asked the same question I was going to ask. How would you start this? And I remember reading the Fantastic Four origin story, and it is a cool one. I wonder if it wouldn't make sense to do the Fantastic Four as a period piece, not current year, but do it in the 60s, do it in the early 60s.
I like that idea.
And dude, if you did it right, damn, that would make a lot of money, and it would totally be its own separate entity from the MCU. Purple, do you like that? Do you not like that?
I like that idea because it's different. It's it's not something that we've had before. I think that would be a really interesting way to do it. Bring them in from the past, and make them relevant to the future. That would be great because we know how important, especially Mr. Fantastic is within the Marvel universe. But I can see race and gender swaps coming, unfortunately, for the Fantastic Four.
Well, that's all that counts, Purple. It's not about the story. It's not about the source material. It's not about your precious little fandoms. It's about virtue signaling and hitting those ESG scores. That's what movies are about. Duh. Let me get to this super chat.
The thing should be a checkbox, though, right?
Well, of course.
No?
Yeah.
He's orange.
I tell you what, if anybody in their right mind wants to make a lot of damn money, stop doing current year. People are looking backwards. They're looking backwards for a lot of reasons. Number one, the world made sense. Number two, maybe some more humanity in the past than current day. But if you did the X-Men during the early phases of the NASA launch programs, and that is how they gain their powers, and you made it in that sort of Madman kind of a late Madman kind of a time era, you'd be printing money. You'd be printing money. But don't listen to me, Disney, and don't listen to me, Marvel. You listen to Taika Waititi. I'm sure he is going to make you plenty of money as he ruins our mythos in a minute. Let me get to this super chat for $19.99 from our good friend Silverlock, and I do mean that. It's great to see you, Silverlock. Hail. Says, with the Fantastic Four, I was looking forward to Marvel getting them back in the fold. Others had them. But Disney, and thanks for popping the chat up, Zaxx, but Disney has ruined that. Until Disney changes their ways, I think all of them and Star Wars are screwed. Let's respond to this, but let me give them something out of the bag of tricks. And oh boy, I got to keep my... Let's do this one.
We have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. There are other forces at work in this world, Frodo, besides the will of evil.
Thank you, Zaxx. Thank you for staying on top of this. There's a lot going on tonight, and you know I like to break balls every once in a while, so hail to you. This is an interesting take. Zaxx, what do you think about this? The Fantastic Four, Disney ruined that.
I think it's a difficult story to bring forward at this point because it's been failed so many times already. And so, I mean, I know they're going to do it because it has been a bigger named property, but like I don't think they're going to do it right. And I think that what you suggested was probably the best way to do it would be somehow to have it be in the 60s and then do a time jump of some kind or whatever. But then that kind of it makes it difficult for Reed Richards to still be influential if he, hasn't been around for 40 years kind of thing.
I don't know. I keep coming back to you got to get out of current year. People are not interested in current year politics, in current year genders. They're interested in what oh boy, how do I say this? They're interested in things that are familiar and make sense to them. And I know there's probably a much larger generation than mine, Generation X, that would absolutely disagree with that, and that's fine. I'm sure you don't know. I'm sure they don't know how to use a compass or change the oil in their car either. So the thing about this is that I would love to see a Fantastic Four movie. I just don't think you can do it set in 2022.
No, there is one way that you could do it and then bring them into it. You have it set in the 60s and then get them stuck in the negative zone until you let them back out.
Yep, that would work.
Yep. That would be cool.
I would even like to see it so they've mostly focused on Reed and Sue. And have it mostly be about them because Johnny Storm and Thing are fairly flashy characters already. You don't need to really get to know them as much. And so kind of Reed and Sue kind of are invisible. But yeah.
Plus, it would be nice to see a actual loving relationship between a man and a woman within the MCU.
Absolutely.
That would be just
fantastic. Are you a biologist, Purple? What are you doing over there? I'm sure you offended the 0.003% of the population that may not see the world that way. So
she just guaranteed it won't get written.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they've just completely sunk that idea.
No, I mean, I don't think enough people talk about the Fantastic Four, and it baffles me because we've gotten how many X-Men movies? I mean, and some really trash X-Men movies. Let's be really honest about it. In the Fantastic Four, now those were pretty bad, but I just think if you brought them back, stop with the Guardians of the Galaxy jokes. Make it a more serious period piece with these characters. And I think if you made it into this life or death struggle, I think people would absolutely respond to it because I think we're tired of the Star-Lord jokey stuff. I mean, I love Star-Lord. I think he's a great character in the MCU, but even that stuff, it's like, okay, can I have Star-Lord do something that's heroic and cool instead of just being a buffoon? I mean, I know you're a big Guardians of the Galaxy Purple. Do you have a take on that? Do you agree, or do you think? How do you roll with the Fantastic Four? How about this? From an editorial perspective, do you keep it serious, or do you kind of have a mix with some humor?
I would like to keep it serious. I think there's a lot of jokey characters, as you say, in the MCU. It would be nice to have a little bit more of a serious tone taken with them. And I think the problem with the Fantastic Four, although they have been around for an incredibly long time, they are not popular in the comics anymore and haven't been for quite a while. You know, the Fantastic Four comics aren't big sellers. So to sell this to a brand new audience, I think they've got the work cut out for them.
I'd like to see Sue and Reed in the 60s, at least. You could see them like in a behind enemy lines kind of a story where they're, you know, maybe being pursued by Dr. Doom or whatever, but they're just the two of them trying to get out. That would be a story you could tell, and it shows their relationship and how close they are and how they work together and get you to care about them, and then you can tack on the other two at the end if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's that problematic nuclear family that our neo-Marxist betters who like to build large mansions don't want us to have anymore. And apparently these studios agree with that. I don't understand. I don't. Yeah, I would love to get a good Fantastic Four movie. I tell you what, Purple, you have been on fire sending the links. You were just firing them off yesterday, and I was like, whatever you want, just don't beat me anymore. And this one was truly fascinating. I'm not saying she's abusive. She likes things done a certain way. That's all I'm going to say. So, Robert Englund story documentary will tell the horror icons' stories. Purple, why don't you kick this one off, and I'll go ahead and run parallel to you on this one.
Yes, absolutely. So this is another actor that I am a huge fan of, have been for a very long time. Met him several times. He's an absolute sweetheart.
Wow.
And he, a few years ago, released an autobiography. I think it was called Hollywood Monster. Highly recommended if you can find a copy. And this seems to be a documentary that they're going to do, pretty much, I would imagine, based upon the book and probably interviews as well. And it's going to be a kind of a behind the scenes and much deeper dive into his life and his career.
This is just one of those things where Freddy Krueger scared the hell out of me in the 80s. Could I just say that? Like, I didn't go see those movies in the theaters. I would end up at people's houses when they had VHS. And, we may have not been doing the things we were supposed to be doing as underage people, but, we were having a good time and nobody got hurt. But we would watch these movies and damn, they were scary as hell. And I think they have stood the test of time. I really do. What about you, Zaxx and Nathan? What about Nightmare on Elm Street? How did you feel about that one?
Well, I didn't see it until much. I didn't get into horror movies much when I was a kid or when I was younger. And I'm real sketchy on the plot lines in it, but I look at it and it's campy horror fun when you sit there and watch it. It didn't scare the hell out of me, but again, I wasn't younger when I was watching it. It was just one of those things. I'd watch it and I'm like, okay, this is just fun entertainment.
It freaked me out as a kid. I didn't, I was like, for Jason stuff was fine, but there was something about Freddy that actually, when I was a kid, it did scare me. And, but then it became my favorite Halloween costume. I wore it a couple of years in a row, and I had fun with it. And very, very campy, fun now looking back. But yeah, there was something about it, even though it was, I guess, kind of silly in hindsight. When I was a kid, it was scary.
Yeah, that movie. I mean, how many Nightmare on Elm Streets did they make? Oh my God. Lyle Hammock.
Lyle, don't end up on the couch.
Mrs. Hammock, please don't hire hitmen on your husband. I am tongue-tied. Thank you, Lyle. I am humbled. I'm humbled by this chat. I'm humbled by your awesome comments, by your joining as channel members, for you becoming Taveran on this channel. And to Lyle, thank you. You are it's just wonderful to see you guys every week. So thank you. So another $50 super chat. Lyle Hammock, not for the first time, is the executive producer of tonight's show, says, I have to sign off and actually work. smiley face. But before I go, I have another anime recommendation for Zaxx, Outlaw Star. If you are a fan of if you are a fan of Firefly, you will love it. An
Yep.
engaging story and characters. There is an excellent promo for, and let me just bounce this out. There's an excellent promo for it narrated by, and it's cut off.
Peter Cullen.
And we will,
Peter Cullen.
by there, Peter Cullen. Thank you, Lyle. I'm actually going to check that one out. Zaxx, I'm going to let you respond to this while I get a video queued up.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I loved Firefly. I've watched it multiple times. Love Serenity. Me and my kid watched Firefly. He loved it too, and so he said he'd actually watch it again. Which, to get kids to rewatch stuff now almost never happens, because there's so much for them to so much content, quote unquote, for them to engage with. But yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Outlaw Star. Cool. Thank you.
Purple.
But
Are you
one more thing? Lyle, I don't ever email because probably it got deleted because you're not a mod. So if you put a link, the bots take it.
Lyle, if you go to my channel page and you go to about, my email is listed there. So you can fire one there. And my email is listed so you can get a hold of me directly. So please reach out to me, sir. Again, Lyle, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and give something from the bag of tricks.
Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the red dawn.
Thank you so much for that generosity, Lyle. Purple, were you a fan of Firefly? Are you a fan of anime? And if so, have you watched Outlaw Star?
I love Firefly. I thought it was a fantastic series that was sadly cancelled far too soon. I'm a very novice anime watcher. I've had a lot of recommendations from a lot of people that know much more about it than I do. So I'm slowly working my way through a series that they've recommended. But anytime that people say that this is a fantastic show, please check this out. I add it to the list. So thank you, Lyle.
Yeah.
And Daniel had said that Outlaw Star is a great story. It's very self-contained. Hail to you. We've also got Rick Silva, who says Firefly is my all-time favorite TV show. You guys are going to make me go back and rewatch it.
Oh man, it's so good.
I just don't throw things at me. I didn't really like it when I saw it, but I'm going to go back and watch it. And I liked Serenity, even though I really didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought it was a cool movie, and here's why. I liked the characters. Like, I liked their stories. I liked their struggle, and it was like I walked into the last act of something. But damn, I miss movies like that where it's like, I like this character because the way they're written, not because of their gender, their pronouns, their politics, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a great, entertaining 2-hour movie. And it was fantastic.
And
Let me shout.
I think
let me
too.
shout-
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead, Nathan.
I think that's a good thing to make a comment about, because I love it, and I watch it with my kids all the time. Serenity is a self-contained story. So like you who didn't like the show and you had no idea what was going on in the movie, you can watch the movie on its own and be thoroughly entertained with that movie in its own right. It is just it's a fantastic movie, and it's worth I can't tell you how many times I sit there and go through the movies on my shelf, and and Serenity is always one of those ones like, I may pop that one in. It's always on the list.
Well, and I have to ask Corey, what order did you watch Firefly in? Because that's what every Firefly fan wants me to ask you right now, for sure.
I just watched like the first episode and I was like, I don't get it. And that makes me a dick.
No, it doesn't. It makes Fox a dick because Fox aired them out of order.
That's what I wasn't sure of. I just saw it's like tonight, Firefly, and it was like, I don't understand. I like the ship. This captain guy is kind of cool, and this chick is kind of hot. And it was like, and then I just kind of walked away from it, you know?
Yep.
And I want to shout out Snowdub, who is in the chat. Check your DMs, by the way, because we're talking about horror. If you have not subscribed, I am going to give what our really good friend Snowdub and his buddy Jolly and Purple Valkyrie's torrid love affair, Target, Puff. Subscribe.
Hey, Puff.
Subscribe. Oh, listen to her. She's a temptress. She's a temptress. Run away, Puff. Run away. Subscribe to Snowdub. Go check out his crazy puppet magic. He's taking this season off, but he does some absolutely fantastic shows that are magic, that are mayhem. And Snowdub is a huge horror fan. As a matter of fact, he is probably, I would say, the single best source of information for a movie called The Thing, the original, of course, which I have a lot of respect for, and I watch at least once a week because McCready is the standard by which all beards are judged. Hail to you, Snowdub. So, yeah, and I just totally forgot what we were talking about other than Firefly. I will give it another shot. I will. It just everybody's passion and enthusiasm. I need to get over the fact that Fox, totally did them no favors, and I need to check it out along with, and you guys are going to lose it on this one, Babylon 5. I could not sit through Babylon 5, and everybody tells me I need to watch Babylon 5. Now, I hear Purple laughing. Tell me why you're laughing.
I actually have never watched Babylon 5.
Yeah, me neither.
And I get a lot of pressure from people to watch it. And I will. It's on my list, I promise. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's not just me, then. It's not just me.
I actually have. I started watching it this year for the first time. I'm on season 3, and it's a bit of a slog at times. And
okay,
I didn't watch it because the effects are just so bad that But it is a good story now that I'm getting into it. But there's so many episodes because that was back when they would do like these 26 episode seasons and things like that. So
yeah.
I do get why people love it, and so I'm watching it slowly.
Sam McCabe, hail to you, one of the McCabe brothers, and you guys, please hit me on Twitter. I want to get you, Sam, and your brother Nick on to have you guys on to talk about some Lord of the Rings stuff on this panel. It says, I started to enjoy Firefly about halfway through. Took a while to get me interested. Never been much of a Whedon fan. Serenity was good though. What's your take on that, Purple, Nathan? Zach.
Yeah, I was never a massive Whedon fan, to be honest. I was never a huge Buffy fan, although I know a lot of people absolutely love that show and Angel. But I just like Firefly for what it was. I thought it was unique. I love the idea that it was a space western, and I thought the characters were fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's right on. The characters themselves were great. The snappy dialogue back and forth where it's the immediate response following everything, that type of dialogue that Whedon was known for. I can take that or leave that at times, but the characters were good. That's what you enjoyed out of the whole thing. The action scenes were decent. And by the time you got to the movie and they put the money into the movie, it was really good. And they did some things in that movie where you're kind of like, oh wow, there's consequence. I like it.
Yeah. No, there's so much good stuff out there, and some of it is some of the stuff just from the 90s where we kind of got burned out because you had Hercules, you had Xena Warrior Princess, you had the Highlander TV version. In Purple, I've never asked you this question before. Did you like the Highlander TV version at all?
There is no Highlander TV version. There is no sequels to Highlander. There is only one.
One. Atta girl.
I feel exactly the same way about the Crow sequels and the Crow TV show.
Preach. There was no Crow sequel. And there definitely wasn't a Crow TV show. Never.
I totally forgot there was.
It wasn't.
Well, yes, correct. But that's how well it stuck.
You know, I'm gonna row with the tide on this one. So I'm gonna jump out to Rick Silva, who says I was the exact opposite. As a fan of Buffy, Angel, and Dollhouse, I instantly gravitated toward Firefly. And he's talking to Sam McCabe. You know, I've never talked about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, and I never watched Dollhouse, but let's take a moment and let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Is there anybody in chat tonight who liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel? And I'm going to start with Zaxx on this one. What did you think about Buffy and Angel? Were you a fan? Are you still a fan?
I loved Buffy and Angel. I was a late comer to Buffy, about halfway through the run, and then I was in even the latter seasons, which people don't like as much. I still enjoyed them, and then I thought Angel was sort of unfairly canceled at the end, and I thought it was really coming together as a show, and I liked those characters, and I loved that world. So yeah, I was a fan. And Dollhouse was kind of iffy for me. It was fine. I mean, and Buffy had faith in it, so I really liked her a lot. And yeah, so Dollhouse was okay, and then Firefly was brilliant. But yeah, I was a big Buffy Angel fan.
Yeah. To Buffy very late. And I actually, this is back when Netflix used to send out DVDs. I started with the first season. That's how late I came to it, and binged it as fast as the Postal Service could send me those DVDs. And loved it. And Angel, I was absolutely madly in love with a certain female character in that show. And it wasn't Charisma Carpenter. It was the other one. I'm going to lose my... What are you laughing at me for, Purple? It's true.
It wasn't me.
Okay, somebody was laughing at me. Oh, thanks, Nathan.
Oh, I thought it was
Mr. Ohio over there in his garage. She's going to laugh at me for my one true love on Angel.
Hey.
Dick.
Well,
Rick Silva's...
It was Charisma.
Yeah, well, no, Charisma... That is a deep dish Chicago style pizza. Let's be honest about it. Rick Silva's firing shots at Purple Valkyrie says, "Oh, Highlander was superb, much better than the movies." Purple, I'm going to allow you the appropriate response of a 5'1" redheaded ninja.
I would never tell anybody that they have the wrong opinion, because we don't do that here. But I would say if you enjoyed it, you're a better person than I am. So.
Are you thinking of Amy Acker?
Yes.
The nerdy one?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Amy Acker. Very good call. Shut up, Nathan. Yeah. No. And, let me go to Purple, and I'm going to put Nathan in timeout. Tell me about your love for, or non-love for Purple, for Angel, for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Purple. Tell me what your thoughts are.
I really enjoyed it. I probably got into Buffy in the second season, I think, and Angel from the first season, because it came out obviously much later. But I thought that the characters were great. I really liked the the setting and the idea of it, and everybody loves the musical episode.
Yes, and I hate musicals, but it was great.
It was. And one of my favorite actors was in one of the episodes. Hush, Doug Jones plays one of the silent, creepy guys.
Yeah, I just remember how scary Spike was in those first episodes. It was just like, damn. I mean, they nailed the vampire vibe totally. And did they take a page out of the Lost Boys? The movie, and Zaxx, you talked about that last week, maybe. But I really, really enjoyed the TV show. And I'll tell you what, I actually really liked the movie of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Krista Swanson and the dude from Beverly Hills 90210, who I believe he passed away.
Luke Perry.
Luke, that was a cool movie. It really was. Now the movie was was one thing, and then the show went to complete other. But I loved those properties. I really, really did.
Yes, that had Donald Sutherland in as well.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
As Giles, the Giles-like character.
Yes, yes, Merrick. That was it.
I got to call out one episode of Buffy, and it was The Body. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah. Which one was
The Body?
That one.
It's where she finds her mom.
Oh God!
Yes. Oh my God! Yes.
It was like a gut punch.
Oh.
So that's the hallmark of a great show, though. You can go from comedy and you can swing into something like that and hit all the emotion.
Mhm.
Look at all the love for Buffy in the chat. I got to tell you what, you guys are fired. Maybe we should do a special Buffy the Vampire and Angel show. Just talk about that. I think some of us present our favorite moments, our favorite baddies, our favorite storylines. I think it would be a lot of fun. That shouldn't be our good friend, the source of all information, says, I loved Buffy even from the original Bring Screen movie. I agree. I absolutely agree. And then look at this. We're getting some more information on it. Don't forget about Rutger Hauer has the big bad in the Christy Swanson movie. God, there was nothing Rutger Hauer couldn't do. Damn. Nathan, you're out of timeout now. Tell us about your love for Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. Keep it civil and don't you dare use Amy Acker's name in vain.
No, actually, I just went and looked at some pictures. Yeah, that's a good choice. To be honest, I did not get into the shows. I would catch bits and pieces of episodes here and there, but they never grabbed my attention. I wasn't a huge fan of them, and so it's amazing that I actually caught on to Firefly, considering it was also the Joss Whedon stuff. So, you know, now I'm in permaban, I guess, but I may have to go and check out an episode or two.
Yeah, we got Rick Silva saying that I should invite Mahler for the Buffy Fest. I'm pretty sure Mahler's busy and I'm pretty small potatoes, but that would be one heck of an honor. It really would. And it would probably be an 18-hour podcast where I'd probably need intravenous fluids and energy drinks.
Yep.
That's entirely possible. So yeah, I agree. So I actually, Snowdub, if you want to hop on, we're going to bring somebody who actually loves horror and horror. Let's use all of the syllables in that word. But Purple, I'm going to let you continue on this because, again, I wasn't into the slasher stuff of the 80s, but on in the background, I was a big baby and I would leave when it got weird. You know what I mean? Just the entire concept of being stuck in a dream with someone who can kill you when it happens in real life. Of course, that is a theme that occurs in the Wheel of Time books. And we know that Egwene, Nynaeve, as well as Elaine, I'll deal with at certain points. But in this case, it was just a really new thing. And how many Nightmare on Elm Street movies were there? I think that was the last question I left dangling out there.
There were technically 7, including the New Nightmare, which was Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and then we had Freddy versus Jason as well, which had Robert Englund in. So technically 8, if you want to include that one as well. And the reboot, but we don't talk about the reboot.
I was going to ask, do you have a favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Is it the first one? Is it one of the other ones?
I really like the first one because that's one of the few where he is actually frightening in it. He is a horror villain. As the films went on, it came a little bit more campy, a little bit more comedy based. But I love number 3, which is Dream Warriors, and I really love Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is very meta. Basically, it's him taking his whole created universe with this Nightmare on Elm Street and really taking a deep dive into it, and these characters almost taking on a life of their own, which I thought was really clever. And Wes Craven was a visionary when it came to these horror stories, and he actually got the inspiration of Freddy from, I think, when he was a little boy. This guy, basically, I think he was a tramp, kind of raps on his door, and all he saw was this silhouette of a guy with a hat, wearing a coat, and it just freaked him out completely.
Wow. Yeah. What about you? I mean, Nathan, did I already ask you what you thought of the Nightmare on Elm Street films? I think I might have.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So here's a question. When you look at some of these iconic, especially 70s, 80s, and then through the 90s horror movies, how would you say Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street ranks? Is it top 3? Is it top 10? Is it? Here's the other question. Has this franchise aged well, especially those movies you say, Purple, when you exclude the stuff that is absolute trash? Do you think that you could put a teenager in front of this movie now and they would have the hell scared out of them by the performance?
That's a really good question. I think it depends. Obviously, what people find frightening is subjective, but I think Freddy, more so than the other slashers, than Jason or Michael Myers, what kind of gravitated people towards him was Robert Englund. It was the personality, it was the wisecracking jokes, as well as the very over the top kills that they had in these films.
I think that what separated him too was the characters, the heroes in his films didn't have to be idiots. And they could do the right thing, but even still, you fall asleep, everyone falls asleep, and it's vulnerability everyone has. Whereas like Friday the 13th and Halloween, like those people were mostly idiots.
Yes, especially if you've seen the last Halloween film. Yes.
I have not, and I won't.
How would you rank Nightmare on Elm Street against, say, Hellraiser? And speak of the devil, Hellraiser himself is joining us right now. How would you, I guess, who is more terrifying? And hail to you, Snow Dub. You are walking in just at the right time. Thanks for jumping on. We're talking about 80s horror movies. I figured you might want to join us. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How's my mic sound? Do I sound okay?
You sound good. You sound good.
Good.
Yeah, no, we were just and let me ask you this same question as long as you're here, sir. How would you say Nightmare on Elm Street, has it stood the test of time? Do you think that you could plop somebody, a teenager, in front of this franchise, especially the good movies, and they would still have the hell scared out of them the same way we did in the 80s?
Oh, of course. I've had the distinct pleasure of meeting Robert Englund. I got a Freddy glove signed, and
awesome.
Got to have a little chat with him. We kind of ran off on a tangent about Dobermans because I breed Dobermans, and he had a roommate at one point that had a Doberman, and just a fun, down to earth story between me and him, and it felt very personal. And just probably one of my favorite celebrities that I've met. I've met quite a few, him and probably Hulk Hogan. But I as far as his movie Nightmare on Elm Street, it's iconic because it's going to transcend over many generations. Going back to that movie, I don't think they can ever recreate it, and they tried already, and they failed miserably. Robert Englund kind of cemented the role, so for them to make a new Freddy would probably be impossible. I mean, I'm not saying they couldn't do it, but maybe they could. But yes, the Nightmare on Elm Street, series as a whole is getting a whole new audience. This is from Robert Englund himself. He said it's getting a whole new audience when it came back out on Blu-ray and 4K. So this next generation of kids, what they're doing is they're sitting down in their mom and pop's, home theater, popping in these DVDs to Blu-rays to 4K or whatever. And it's literally being exposed to a whole new audience. So it is transcending every generation. And it's one of those great films that does that. It's very few out there.
That's fantastic. And I asked Purple this question, but how would you consider the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise? And again, that can be according to your own specifications, excluding the latest stuff. Do you see it as part of for you, Snowdom, in the top 3, the top 10, or is it somewhere hovering, in the maybe the low teens? How do you see this franchise?
The franchise as a whole, or certain movies of it? Because, like Purple said, there's a few campy ones, cheesy ones.
Yeah.
The reboot was terrible, but
let me rephrase then.
Okay.
The character of Freddy Krueger, putting it up against Leatherface, putting up against, Nightmare, the whole thing with Jason.
He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. Your Leatherface, Jason, Freddy, and, you could possibly throw, and I'm talking, 80s, 70s horror. There's another Mount Rushmore of Dracula, Mummy, and all those guys from, the previous generation. But this was our generation's Mummy, Dracula, and those guys. So, yeah, definitely on Mount Rushmore of horror icons, especially from the 80s.
Now, Purple and Snow, how would you say Fred? I'm putting you guys. I'm putting you guys on the spot. But okay, I got hit with a cattle prod. Let me get to this super chat. This is from Daniel. Sorry for making you wait. This is for $5 US. Says only 2 movies affected me as a kid: the gnarled old tree outside my bedroom window from Poltergeist, and Elm Street, that I refused to ride my bike down. You guys hold on to your response to that. Let me drop you a video. Daniel, thank you for being here. Thank you for so many comments. Thank you for the affirmations. Hail to you, brother. And let me give you something horror-like.
You should have stayed dead.
Yeah, I think we should do a show just talking about 80s horror icons, and we can certainly move off of this topic and move on to the Lord of the Rings news we have after this, because we are coming up on 2.25 hours. But how would you say Freddy Krueger stands up against Hellraiser? And this is open to everybody, but I'd like to start with Purple and with Snow. How would you rank some of these 80s, horror franchises? Like, you got Jason, you got Pinhead, you got Chucky, you got Freddy Krueger. Who's the top dog in that?
For me, it will always be Freddy. He's always been my favorite. I have a real soft spot for him as a character and as the actor, because as Snow said, he is a real gentleman if you get to meet him. I just love 80s horror. I think, the 80s horror was a real kind of golden time for slasher films, if you like that sort of genre, and we were really kind of spoiled with how many fantastic films and franchises we had.
Oh yeah.
And this is before it kind of moved into the 90s, and we had the more kind of realistic horror and the shaky cam, which I'm not a big fan of, but I love these larger than life horror villains that we had.
What about for you, Snowdub? I know of your love for The Thing. Oh, God, I love that movie so much. But from a horror icon perspective, do you see Jason, Leatherface? Do you see Chucky, Pinhead? Who's the number one from your perspective, off the cuff, of an 80s horror icon?
Well, I could put The Thing up against just about any movie out there, not just in horror. That's one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But that's a whole nother topic. I always lean towards Jason. Even though he's been played by multiple characters, my favorite is Kane Hodder. I've have a little more of an appeal to him. I've always liked his style. You don't say much, strong silent type. All these guys kind of spawned off of Michael Myers originally. He was probably the one that kind of broke through the wall and started making these new icons. And so they were all trying to kind of re-up that one and do their own thing. So Jason's the one that went 12 movies. Hasn't made a 13th yet. Hopefully they do it right on the 13th one. And but he's definitely got I think he still holds the most movies out there out of all of them. I think you know what? Halloween might be catching up to him now that I'm thinking about it. But it's Freddy's. Freddy's Freddy, and that's why the reboot, like I said, just was so terrible, because you took Robert Englund out and he made the role iconic. By the way, Stranger Things, little off subject, but Stranger Things has Robert Englund in it for this next season, so I'm kind of excited to see that. Yeah.
That is going to be fascinating. That kind of went sideways for me, but I'm going to watch the last season through high seas methods, because I no longer have Netflix, though. Let me get to this super chat from our good friend Nico Glock, channel member. Hail to you. Says, for $10 US, boy, when you flirt, you pay for it. Hail to my wolf brothers and sisters. Hashtag cancel jolly. Hashtag call me purple. There you go. I'm in the middle of this lovers triangle again. Purple, do you have anything to say to Nico Glock or Snow Dubbed? I mean, I know you're good friends with Puff. Is this putting you in an uncomfortable position?
I'm just glad the Mexican Iron Man's not here because we could have an absolute bloodbath going on. But it is great to see Nico Glock as always. And hi to Puff. Mwah.
I'm here too.
Out.
So
he's downstairs.
Hi. I'm also here, Purple.
Hello, sweetheart.
Daniel's in the chat too, so he also, I'm sure, is thinking, "What about me?"
I said hi to Daniel. I blew him a kiss earlier.
Whew, heartbreaker.
I know.
Love taker.
How dare he canceled Jolly when he's going through his procedure right now, and he's having surgical reconstruction on his hands, and poor Jolly. He's in the hospital. He's getting work done, and to call him out like that when he's not even here is just rude. And Puff's passed out, or else he'd probably come up here and do something about it. But he's smoking too much weed.
And I'm not saying they're doing extensive reshoots of Doctor Strange involving Jolly, but that little bit of information about the hand reconstructive surgery on Jolly, anything is possible in the multiverse. That's all I'm going to say with that. Hail to you, Nico Glock. Let me give you something from the bag of tricks.
Why, Bilbo Baggins? Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. And it gives me courage.
Thank you again, Nico Glock. Yeah, we were really lucky with all those 80s horror movies. And I remember, of course, being a kid in the 80s, and you couldn't swing a dead cat without a horror movie coming out or a B science fiction movie coming out. Things that at the time we were like, that kind of stupid, but I got nothing better to do on a Wednesday night, so I'm going to go to the theater. And not all horror icons, not all horror movies were at the same level as Nightmare on Elm Street, has Hellraiser. There was a lot of garbage out there, but those have lasted, and they are the icons for a reason. So hail to Nico Glock. Is there anything else you'd like to cover on this Robert Englund short documentary story before we move on, Purple?
No, I think we're good. I'm just looking forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be a very interesting documentary if it's based even partly on his autobiography. It's a great read.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool. And let me ask, before we close out the horror section, is there anything that you guys are seeing or hearing about that is a new horror movie that is coming out anytime soon? Because I got to be honest with you, I haven't seen anything really in the horror genre that has even triggered my interest. Is there anything that's come out in the last year or two that you would say maybe could hold a candle to what we've seen with Nightmare on Elm Street?
It's a bit controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. But I didn't mind the last two Halloween installments. The most recent one kind of came out exclusive on Peacock, Halloween Kills. But you got to see some, some old faces you haven't seen in a long time. And what's his name? Rusty from the original Vacation. I can't think of the actor's name. He plays in it. I thought he did okay. Is it Jason Scott Hall? He's got a 3 name. Anyway, sorry. But the Halloween franchise, I think, is doing okay, and I'm actually kind of curious to see how they wrap it up with this third one. So that's at least one thing in horror to kind of look forward to.
Yes, I would agree with that. I thought it was pretty good, and I will be curious to see how it ends. Wasn't so keen on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that we've just had from Netflix, and I didn't particularly like the latest Scream either.
I'm going to shout out Nerdporial Lifeform, who just hit 1,000 subs. Congratulations again, brother. Thank you for having myself, Zaxx, Max on your Aliens panels and your Lord of the Rings panels. If you haven't subbed, go check out Nerdporial Lifeform. It says Anthony Michael Hall, who we all know from Weird Science, as well as The Breakfast Club. There you go. Anthony Michael Hall plays Tommy Doyle. There you go. So, yeah, and Let's see what we got here. We got another super chat that just popped up. There we go. This is again from Nico Glock. And why do I feel like I'm Switzerland in the middle of major warring powers? This is again, thank you, Nico Glock. Hail to you, my wolf brother, says for $10 US. Hail, punk. I love you, brother. And hail, Zaxx. Hashtag cancel puff. Hashtag Mexican Iron Man for life. Well, while you all formulate your return fire, I'm going to give you something from the bag of tricks.
I am no man.
That wasn't Leah Thomas, though, right? No?
No, and it wasn't Molly Ringwald either.
Oh.
That wasn't Molly Ringwald in The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, at least as far as I'm aware of. Yeah. So, hail to you, Nico Glock. So, do you guys have a response for that? We've got canceling. We've got hashtag Mexican Iron Man for life. Any response to that, Purple or Snowdub?
I will defer to Snowdub on this one, I think.
Wow. Put me on the spot. Okay, well.
Welcome to my show. Welcome to the show. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, Puff can't defend himself. Like I said, I think he took out a whole bag of Tostito, those little, wrapped up pizza bites. Took out a whole bag of those, passed out on the couch. He's drooling on the cushions. So he can't come up here and say anything right now, but I'm going to give Nico Glock a pass just because he got some amazing, fantastic news yesterday. So he's kind of celebrating right now. So we'll let him slide this time.
All right. You're a big man. You're a very, very big man with that approach. Hail to you. So I am going to move on to our next topic tonight. And Snowdub, if you want to split you can. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to hang out with us. We're going to talk about just a little bit, and I can't seem to pull it up. This is an article that we see every day. And boy, look at all the ads on this site. There we go. So this one comes to us from Bounding into Comics. And this one says, America Chavez creator Joe Casey says her debut in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is, air quotes, extremely important because, air quotes, our fictions should reflect our reality, unquote. I don't know about you, but something I look forward to is when I turn on the television that I see identity politics, intersectional feminism, the streets on fire, neo-Marxism, and all types of racial tensions and economic woes and all of these dark subject matter, things on the screen, because that's what I go to for my entertainment. Now, who on this panel doesn't do that?
I'm just waiting for trainee Hellraiser.
Well, you're probably going to get it, brother. You really are. Yeah, I mean,
Jada
Pinkett joke about that, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, we can beat
right here.
Yeah, I mean, we can beat the failed IP that is America Chavez over and over and over and over and over, and it's really obvious what they're doing with the MCU, and it is money laundering. There's no other. I have no other explanation. They're not interested in making money. They're not interested in telling good stories. They're interested in pushing narratives that no one wants to see, and of course, they're going to stick it in the middle of I would say a semi-moderately popular character in the MCU. I mean, Doctor Strange is not my favorite character. He's not. He's no Tony Stark. He's no Captain. He's no Steve Rogers. He's not even a Hulk. And to stick America Chavez in there, it just feels like, okay, it's just another checkbox on this. But I think what's more troubling is the sentiment here of insertion of current year politics into every single damn thing that we see. And I don't know, you guys, what's your enthusiasm on seeing, and we won't stay on this very long, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which apparently as of last week, they were still doing reshoots on. And I'll start with you, Snowdub. Are you interested in seeing? Jesus, look at this. Who wouldn't want to see America Chavez? Look at that art. That looks fantastic. So competitive.
Uh,
Sorry. My disgust. I can't even contain it. This is ridiculous.
well, okay. Hear me out for a minute. I absolutely adore Sam Raimi as a director.
Okay.
He's created Evil Dead 2. He made possibly the best superhero movie ever made in Spider-Man 2. That's of course debatable. But to me, he's an icon. So I never count him out. That said, I am interested to see, the Doctor Strange story continue, especially kind of from what happened with Spider-Man. But I am not interested, and I mean hell to the no interested in any comic book character, especially that have come out from like the late 90s, early 2000s on. I just do not interest me at all, and I just do not see why they're being incorporated right now with these classic characters. This is one of them things I always freak out about, is they literally have skipped about 30 years of comics and amazing characters that they can incorporate into these films, and they're jumping right to the woke ones that came out within the last 10, 20 years. So it's kind of disgusting to be honest. But I hope Sam Raimi can pull it off.
They know that they failed, but I agree with you. I think Sam Raimi has had some pretty good movies. He really has. I need to do a little business because Zaxx is hitting me with the cattle prod. First of all, I want to call out Doviende se Tovius again. Doviende se Tovius again. Time to roll the dice. That, of course, is Matt Cawthon's on Matt Cawthon's flag for the Band of the Red Hand. Credit goes to you, sir, for creating the Taveran level on this channel, and you'll be happy to know that I believe 5 or 6 people joined and upped their membership. And again, I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you. I'm humbled and I am moved greatly. Nico Glock comes back with another $10. You are so generous, my wolf brother. Thank you. Says, hail Snowdub. I think I love you.
Ew. No, I responded to him in the chat.
Okay. It's like, don't put me. I'm not going to be the meat in the middle, guys. All right, you guys make your own sandwich. You don't need meat in the middle. I'm going to give you a video for that, though, Nico. And here you go. And oh boy, Restream is lagging tonight. There you go.
We travel light. Let us handsome walk.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take, Snowdub. I really do. Purple, I'm going to bounce this one out to you after I take this super chat. This is from Taker610. Hail to you, Taker610. It's great to see you again. Thank you guys for coming back every week. So it's for $2. Says, more like the multiverse of sadness. Train wreck coming. Hail to you. I might steal that, Taker610. More like the multiverse of sadness. I absolutely agree. Let me give you this one.
We have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. There are other forces at work in this world further besides the will of evil.
I think that's a fair take, and let me go to Purple on this one. Are you excited to see the multiverse of madness?
I was when it was first announced. It looked like it was a very interesting concept. Having seen what they did with Doctor Strange in the last Spider-Man film, I didn't particularly like the direction they took the character. And in regards to America Chavez, nothing against the actress. I'm sure she's perfectly lovely and just playing a role, but this is a character that I have zero interest in seeing.
Yeah, I did a video on this. I think it was back in January when I was still traveling from the holidays. I was in a hotel room doing an America Chavez video because it's the gift that keeps on giving, let's be honest. But Marvel released the sort of marketing spin on this character. So this is a 14-year-old girl, and the things that they say about her, first of all, is that she is from Central America and that she's gay. It's a teenage girl.
Isn't she from space?
Yes.
She was an alien.
Yes. But we need to celebrate the fact that the boxes are checked. Zaxx, you bigot. It doesn't matter. She's an alien. She looks like she's from South America and she's gay. Get it together.
Is that arguably brown face?
Ooh, not
It's the exact same argument that they had for Starfire. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I am not Starfire. It's Danny DeVito's illegitimate child, you know, because Starfire got that drunk one night. I doubt it. Hail to you again, Doviende Se Tovius again. Thank you for the idea. Thank you for the interview. I'm working on it. It's great to see you. Really good guy. Thank you for being a channel member. So, and thank you. Go ahead, Zaxx. You take
I was
this.
gonna. You got it already. You got it. I know what you're gonna say.
I muted myself and Restream is lagging, so I'm sorry. So no, Nico Glock, thank you for also upgrading your membership to the Taviran level. You guys, wow, I'm humbled. Thank you all for believing in this, for showing up every week, for supporting the work that Purple and Zaxx and Max and I do every week. It is a hell of an affirmation, and we really do appreciate it. And I know Amanda Manethrin, who is kind of like our cousin who comes in every other week. We have shared custody of him. We get him sometimes, and Nathan appreciates it too. So thank you guys very, very much for that. So yeah, let me kick this one out to Zaxx. Are you and your sons, your family, are you guys interested in the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, or has there been so much churn you just don't care anymore?
I think that I was more excited for it than I am now with all the reshoots and the trailer and the teaser they don't just interest me at all. I might go see it anyway, but I'm not looking forward to it at all anymore. And I didn't like what they did with the character in Spider-Man, but that was a bit weird. But the tonal change to the character I didn't think needed to happen, but I get they did it so that story could happen. It's still lazy. But the thing with this article that bothers me is our entertainment must reflect our reality. And can someone please tell Amazon that then, and Netflix, and because we have Anne Boleyn, who doesn't reflect the real Anne Boleyn, and we've got Jarl, a Viking Jarl, who's a black woman. And speaking of that, Black Widow doesn't exactly reflect reality in any way either. So I don't know why this one does it have to reflect reality, and what part of reality are we talking about?
Yeah. And I'm just going to quote this and then get to this super chat. It said, just being able to see her alongside an iconic character like Doctor Strange is extremely cool. Quote, that's one of the main reasons I created her in the first place, so she could stand next to other Marvel heroes, the heavy hitters like Iron Man and Captain America, and for it to feel like she belonged there. You know, a 14-year-old girl with no backstory, origin, and we have absolutely no attachment to. Yeah, sure. Why not? Nico Glock, you are crazy. Another $5. Thank you. Says, is there a higher level than Taveran? Because I'm there. Hashtag cancel Jolly. No, I am shocked that people want to support this channel at this level. My humility is not feigned. I have a lot of gratitude. I just thank you all for supporting me. I'm going to keep my promises with what I said. I will be reaching out to each one of you as you want me to, and we will work on devising your own icons. And also I will be giving you the discount, the forever discount to the merch store. So hail to you again, Nico Glock. Let me go ahead and give you a video, and let's do this one. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know how much more reality and current year politics I need to see in anything anymore. I just don't. I mean, the rationale of this creator saying, to me, that's what gives any new character a degree of legitimacy that's often very necessary when you've already got a long-running continuity. Slamming them in to have them next to Doctor Strange. A 14-year-old girl from a failed comic book, now they're legitimate. I think that's kind of insane and stupid to me. But Yeah, is there anything that anybody wants to say about America Chavez? Because this is definitely a boner killer in my
Well,
world.
you know what's insane and stupid here is the encouragement. I am literally bewildered about how you guys continue to encourage this behavior. I have been nothing but attacked since I got here, streaming on this show, and your Nico Lock coming in here, taking shots at me left and right. I feel personally violated. This I need to turn in my white privilege card here and get some better bonus points or something, because this is ridiculous.
I think you need to give Puff some adrenochrome to get him on so that he can defend himself from Nico Glock. But
let's send Puff to his house.
Well, that's probably true. And the fad that shouldn't be, hail to you, brother, says a $2 super chat says, wait, isn't your highest channel level MV penis? No, that would be Max's Man Cave, which is on every Monday night on Maxfield Von Priestley's channel. So hail to MVP. Let me get you something from the bag of tricks, and let's do this one.
Not alone. Go hit him!
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to wrap this thing up with America Chavez because it just makes me angry. And, in fact, that's the thing about what they've done with America Chavez, is that the current take on Casey's original incarnation is absolutely so far from what they originally put together that it's just become a living, breathing embodiment of ESG checkboxes. That's all America Chavez is in the MCU. And good luck. That's all I got to say. So what do we got here? This is okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and pivot, and Snowdub, you're welcome to stay. We're gonna pivot into some Lord of the Rings news and then probably wind things down. But I just let me know what works for you, brother.
Oh, I can hang out for the last few minutes of the show, and I'm obviously going to increase your bankroll the longer I'm here, because I'm continuing to be attacked in the chat. Just saying.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for being my mule tonight. That's absolutely fantastic. So
I think Snow needs a hug.
I think Snow does need a hug. We talk on Twitter sometimes, and we sing the sad songs of what we formerly knew as the city of Seattle, the Emerald City. I'll just leave it there. So just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water, we have Chuck Dixon, one of the greatest comic book creatives. I mean, a real creative in my mind. Mm-hmm. Work on the Wheel of Time adaptation, Hobbit adaptation, countless other superhero character books. Was recently on a friend of this channel, and sat down with European Lore, who I keep playing tag with, and they had a really interesting conversation. And as you can see, Chuck Dixon did the work for The Hobbit. He didn't hold back in this interview, and he talked about the state of contemporary adaptation is pretty miserable, film and television, because they want to change the work. This is Chuck Dixon talking, and I'll continue. It says they find things in the original or the source material that offend them, or that they feel don't fit our postmodern sensibilities, and they alter them. And it's a crime. It's a crime. Now, this is Chuck Dixon. This is a man who, to me, has the best street cred ever. And not only that, but he has put his money where his mouth is. He has delivered, I would say, timeless adaptations. And even though he admitted that fantasy doesn't come easy for him, I believe his adaptations of The Wheel of Time, as well as The Hobbit, are second to none. Now, Purple, I'm going to kick this out to you. What do you think about this? What do you think about Chuck Dixon calling it like it is and sounding like us on YouTube?
I think it's incredibly refreshing, and it just reinforces why I am such a huge fan of Chuck Dixon as a writer and as a creative. He is talking sense He's saying what we are saying. He is coming at it from clearly someone who is a fan of Tolkien as much as we are, and he's absolutely right. You don't go into something as high profile as Lord of the Rings or Wheel of Time with the idea of just changing everything, and we have seen it time and time again with IPs. IPs have been hollowed out, and they are, whatever it is, in name only now. The characters are unrecognizable, the settings have changed, and it just feels like it's a pale comparison to what could have been.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to kick this around the panel, but I've got to get to this super chat from Nico Glock. We have more shots fired. You're crazy, Nico. It says $25 super chat, says, to be 100% honest, I'm not really here to support my Wolf brothers. I'm really here to downvote and hate on Jolly and Puff. Here come the hashtags, boys. Hashtag cancel Jolly. Hashtag cancel Puff. Hashtag cancel Cotton Connection.
What the fuck?
Shots fired.
That's artillery. That's a Tomahawk cruise missile barrage come in from Nico Glock. Snowdub, hold your fire. Ready your aim. I'm going to drop this one for... I got to find a good one. This one's for you, Nico.
We travel light. That's handsome walk.
Wow. Immense generosity, and I'm in the middle of a war zone. This is the DMZ in my office here tonight. Snowdub, do you have anything to say to this barrage of... Will this aggression stand? That's, I guess, what I'm going to ask Snowdub before we continue.
Allow me to retort. Purple. By chance, the next time Puff spends the night at your flat, would you mind? Would you mind sending me a few photos of just you and him cuddled up together, and I'll make sure to pass them along to Mr. Nico Glock here. So you can.
If Puff is down for that sort of thing, I don't see why not. Just share the love and all that.
Wait a minute. Are you guys talking about making a Puff porno? Is that what we're talking about here? Or are we talking about tasteful boudoir pictures? I just want to clarify for the chat.
Well,
I'm not sure if Puff could pull off tasteful boudoir pictures, but
just enough to hype up the jealousy. That's all we need. A little teaser. Probably you with some lingerie and Puff with that tongue out. That should do it.
Well, I tell you what we do here on the show is we take Amazon's Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, which is nothing but a, let's be honest about, woke trash, and we make it magical. We bring two young lovers together. We have them consummate their bond and then send pictures to random YouTubers. That's what we do on the Salty Texas Tuesday show. I'm proud to be a part of this, and thank you, Nico Glock, for that. And oh my God. Purple, you can read this one. This is all you, Purple.
This is from Nico Glock. He sends us $50. Thank you so much, sweetheart. He says, LOL, bitches. I love hashtag Cousin Connection. I love Jolly, Puff, Mike, and Snowdub, and Purple. Love you too.
Oh my God, you guys are on fire. Snowdub, you want a job? Come on to this channel anytime you want.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you're lucky enough to have Nico Glock actually, enjoy your channel, then you're one of the very fortunate few. Because if he loves your channel, then he takes good care of his channels. So I'll say that much about him. He's a good man.
Nico, thank you very much. Your generosity is... You and Lyle Hammock are both the executive producers tonight. Reach out to me on Twitter. I'd like to show some... You and Lyle, I'd just like to talk with you guys and make sure that you will get your Taveran. And anyone who's at the Taveran level, please reach out to me. I would like to stay on top of keeping my promises. I'm going to give you another one, Nico. This one's for you.
Why, Bilbo Baggins? Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. It gives me courage.
That is the Lord of the Rings that we want. If only there were 3 movies or even 6 movies to draw from as far as what a world feels like, what armor looks like, attention to detail. If only there were source material for Amazon to faithfully, perhaps, incorporate those elements that we all know and love. This thing from Dixon was a lot more hardcore than I expected, honestly. And let me kick this one out to you, Nathan. Were you surprised when you read what Chuck Dixon read? Do you have the Chuck Dixon Wheel of Time comics at all?
I do have them on my phone, electronic copy. I don't have a physical, but I did pick up The Hobbit,
Oh yeah.
and it is amazing. And the article was great. I heard, and I can't remember where I heard the audio. I don't know if I can't remember if you put it out or if someone else did. But the audio, he went into a lot more depth with it, and it was absolutely awesome. He tore them apart, and then he went into the detail about how he got a hold of The Hobbit, and it was like an unauthorized copy. And so he and his agent went to Tolkien Society and said, "Hey, we've got an unauthorized copy of it that we can go ahead and do a adaptation for, but we'd much rather have an approved one from an authorized copy. Otherwise, we'll just go with this one." And so they gave him the approval, and he said as he was going through and drawing this up that he didn't want to use any of his words at all. All the words that are in this thing are Tolkien's words that he put into The Hobbit. And, and that's what he's talking about in the article when he's criticizing Amazon about what they're doing is an abomination. Because now they're, I'm assuming we're going to get into the next article, creating new characters that have new relationships that never existed, single mothers and melanin enhanced dwarves and all that stuff. None of that existed in Tolkien's work. And you've got Chuck Dixon who's writing, who did a graphic novel for it that beautifully portrayed the dwarves down to their clothes. Gandalf, even with his eyebrows coming out from beyond the brim of his hat. I mean, exactly like The Hobbit describes in the text. It was absolutely fantastic, and I pretty much did a standing ovation when I read the article. It was awesome. The people at work looked at me weird, but I didn't care.
And Chuck too, he's been very faithful with his adaptations, and yet he's a guy who is not afraid to be edgy in his writing. He helped create Bane. He wrote lots of Punisher. So he'll go all over the place, but he understands when it's time to stay true to the original and not to push the boundaries, but in order just to tell the story how it was intended to be told. Oh, Corey's not back.
We're supposed
just
to
getting
vamp.
a little bit of feedback. I thought it cut out on me. It
Sorry.
crackled and then went silent.
I know. I was having some issues too where I got some static, so Restream is acting up a little bit. Sorry about that, you guys. Yeah, and the other thing is Chuck Dixon had to deal with Robert Jordan when he did the Wheel of Time comic books. And this is something that, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. It's a friend of the channel, OBG70, did a great review of those comics and the amount of detail that Robert Jordan provided, such as the Aes Sedai were never to be seen in pants. The Aes Sedai were dressed very feminine in dresses. And Chuck Dixon took everything and did it exactly to the author's specifications, painstakingly so. And then you got Amazon, who is writing the novels that Tolkien never wrote and only giving him credit for half the season with their story. And like you guys said, too busy checking other ESG corporate diversity representation scores to, Story is an afterthought, in my opinion. But Snowdub, what is your fandom like for the Lord of the Rings? What is your sense? What is your feeling? And we've never talked about this, about what you think is going to happen with the Lord of the Rings of Power.
Yeah, well, I haven't been too close to the radar as you have on this one, but once again, kind of going back to my horror roots, I love Peter Jackson and his old movies. He did some classic horror movies back in the day. One to be my favorite, Dead Alive. But that said, when he did the Lord of the Rings, I wasn't as familiar with Tolkien and his books and stuff. I never read them. I knew about the story. I knew about the lore. I think I even watched the cartoon movie, the Hobbit cartoon movie, like back when I was really young.
Rankin Bass, man, 77. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do remember that, but, just images of it really, because I was so young. But when I went to go see the movies, I was blown away. I became an avid fan of Lord of the Rings, thought it was fantastic. I have yet to get my 11-year-old to sit down and watch them yet. He's not quite there, I think, to sit through the whole thing. So of course I got the extended editions. I'm gonna throw at him, but the Hobbits were okay. I think it was a nice tip of the hat, but nothing compared to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now that said, I'm hearing horror stories of what's going on with this Amazon project, and right away I seen the main image of the troll lady with no beard, and right off the bat I knew we were going to have problems. And so I've been tuning into you a little bit, kind of keeping my ear out there. I think I will jump on this with you guys more when it gets closer to showtime, and really pick this sucker apart.
Yeah. We're going to be, I did a series of interviews with channel members and other people that related to the Wheel of Time and how the adaptation differed from the books and why they thought that. But we're going to be covering the same things with Tolkien once we get closer to September 2nd, of course, the fateful day that J.R.R. Tolkien died in 1973, and I was 3 years old at that time. But
yes. Stay classy, Amazon.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting because Snowdub brings an interesting perspective that a lot of us who, in our own fandoms, we come to different things at different times in different ways. Like Snowdub was really, his passion, if I'm understanding you, sir, was really kindled and lit by a faithful adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien on the big screen. And it was that then launched you into the place where you're now talking not just about the movies, but about your passion for the extended editions of Tolkien's world faithfully adapted.
And the brilliance of Peter Jackson and putting that dedication to making absolute amazing movies. We haven't had an amazing trilogy like that since Star Wars, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. I agree. Let me get to this super chat before Zaxx hits me with a hockey stick. This is for $5 from Daniel. Hail to you, Daniel. It's great to see you again. Thank you again for the super chat. Chuck Dixon has real experience and real success from his own effort. He understands. Amazon writers have current day college degrees, and that's it. Let's ping off that one. Nathan, you've talked about something like this before. You've got Chuck Dixon, who I listened to you talk, and I'm sorry I had to go out. My dog had to go outside. But you talked about Chuck Dixon with a kind of passion and the zeal of somebody who has the physical media. And you'd also talked about these writers. You weren't on the show last week when we revealed all of the other writers and producers that Amazon suddenly dropped, people that wrote for Hawaii Five-0 and Star Trek Discovery. Give me your take on this and what Daniel's saying.
Well, I can't wait for Galadriel PI, and that just, or Magnum Galadriel, however you want to call her. It just I get headaches thinking about this kind of stuff because the background on that cutscene that you put in there, where there's Gandalf talking about Bilbo giving him courage, and you see Galadriel standing in the back behind him, standing there with strength and dignity behind him, listening to him and taking in his concerns. that's the Galadriel that is written in the books.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no faithful adaptation that puts Galadriel in armor and makes her angry and has her rock climbing with just armor and a butter knife. It's just it's so damn frustrating.
It's so stupid. Every time we say it, it just gets stupider. That's the thing. Is it's not like, oh, we're getting numb to this. We're not getting numb to this.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, with the videos we've been doing and the clips from this show, in my experience, people are getting more pissed off. This is just getting started. People are just waking up to this.
And think about all the thumbs down deletions that they've been removing from the YouTube trailers, all the comment deletions. They've deleted over 30,000 comments and removed close to 1 million dislikes. It is absolutely unreal, the attack that they're putting out there on the fan base, and the fan base is just fighting right back. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah, and Amanda Manethran worked with Prophet of the Dragon to do a video that I covered Reddit. And Zaxx was instrumental in that. And Zaxx, I know you posted that out there, and you do have some news and an update to those of you who are on Reddit. That video we made had a major impact, and I'm not overselling it. Zaxx, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, one of the subreddits for the Rings of Power, the one that is trying to be the most shilly for the show, or we'll say positive, I guess. They actually changed their rules for whether or not you could post YouTube videos on that subreddit because of that video that I posted in that subreddit. So now you can no longer post links to YouTube videos in that subreddit unless it's approved by a mod in advance.
Yeah. So Salty Texas C, Amanda Manethran, and Prophet of the Dragon, we're raising all kinds of holy hell, not just here, but on Reddit, apparently.
And it was 2 days later. It was 2 days later, and it was a direct response because, they were saying that we're tired of people. We want to believe this show could be good, so we don't like that people show up here and show us videos that show us it's not going to be good, basically. So.
Let us live in our delusion, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm helping set social media policy. Take that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically like, you know what, you shouldn't park here on the train tracks. I know it's a lovely view and a great place to have a picnic, but there's a train coming. It's like, shut up, leave me alone. I want to eat my ham sandwich. That's what this is. It's delusional. Anyway, let me get to let me get to this super chat. And actually, I need to play a video. I believe I need to play a video for Daniel. This one is for you.
You should have stayed dead.
Oh, it's just one of those nights where I wished I had a staff because I'd like to beat the living hell out of some undead. But that's just me, and that's what I like to do on Tuesday nights after the show anyway. Hail to you, Nico Glock, again. Dude.
Oh, come on, man. Really?
This is a $10 super chat. And, oh, boy.
Wow.
Snowdub has been a great guest tonight. But next time, Salty, please get Jolly. That puppet is so much cooler and a way better host than Snow. Hashtag Jolly Late Night. All this love for you, Snowdub. What have you done to deserve it? You must be a big supporter of a bunch of people and do all kinds of work there in the puppet world. And I know you took a break from the bedside of Jolly with his hand reconstruction surgery tonight to be here, and it means the world to us. And I know you probably have to rush back to that bedside and bring some flowers and some chocolate and some ganja for Jolly. But do you have anything to say to Nico in response to this?
He's literally going through surgery as we speak. I'm waiting to hear back from the doctor. This is traumatic. I may have to smoke half of his half ounce, and he's only going to get a quarter of an ounce tonight because of this. I think you made at least $100 off my backside, and I am red and welted. and just
Well-
whipped and done. So thank you for having me on, Salty.
Somebody needs a
Oh,
safe
no.
space.
I really
No.
appreciate it.
No.
Used and abused.
Yeah, and Snowdub, Snowdub, I'm gonna use your parlance. Thanks for the reach around, buddy. That's all I'm gonna say. So,
I need a
let me
few
go
back
ahead and give you-
kisses while you're at it.
I
Few back
know.
kisses
No.
would be nice.
I'll send you a box of chocolates. Here we go. This
All right.
Nico Glock. This is a little boy. I've run through these a couple different times. Here you go. This one's for you, Nico.
I am no man.
Yeah, it's and thank you for being here, Snowdub. It's a pleasure. It really is, dude. You are a cool guy, and
At least
you're a lot of
somebody's-
fun to hang out with.
At least somebody's getting some pleasure.
And,
Yeah.
and speaking of ladies, we have that Tug Life in the chat.
Oh, hail Tugs. Yeah, she was showing off her sundress last night on the MV Penis show. It was great sundress. We had a long conversation, and ladies out there, if you want to get the MV Penis going, wear a sundress. That's all I'm gonna say. So hail to you, Tugs. Thanks for being here tonight. Nathan, you gotta come to Monday nights. You'll get all the jokes. Good God, Nico, you're crazy. This is another super chat. This is for $5. And Purple, I'm gonna let you read this one.
Huge thank you again to Nico. Thank you, love. He says, I love you and miss you so much, Tugs.
See what you wandered into, Tugs. It's a madhouse in here. That's what we have. That's what happens with this wonderful group of hardcore people that show up every Tuesday night. And of course, Snowdub, thank you, brother, for coming on. And let me give you another video, Nico. I'm gonna probably run through every single one of them that I have with you tonight. Here you go, brother. Wow, this has been like a soap opera involving stoner puppets and purple Valkyrie, and it's a very fascinating world that I find myself in. So hail to you. Yeah, I mean, Chuck Dixon, I mean, when he was dropping that stuff, and Zaxx, I know you talk about Chuck and you have a little bit more experience with him than I would say. I'm not gonna, when he says these things, it's not hyperbole. It's not sensational. There's probably stuff he's probably not saying. Is that a fair assessment as far as to what he is signaling as far as what's going on with the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, and he's a very open and honest guy from my impression, and they've tried to cancel him before. Ultimately, he left the big two publishers for comics because they stopped paying their writers, and so he can do much better on his own. And he's very open about all that stuff. So if he says it, he means it, and he's probably holding back a little bit, but not much. He's a pretty open book in my experience.
Oh, hey, hit me up if you want to come on, Tug. Just hit me up and you can join this madness that's going on over here. We're about to cover what Amazon is doing to the Lord of the Rings. And yes, it's not just the writers from Hawaii Five-0, Doctor Who, the directors from Wheel of Time, as well as the editorial content supervisors from Star Trek Discovery. It is now also adding women into the family trees that were crafted by Tolkien. Just as a snap judgment, and I'm going to kick this out to you, Purple Valkyrie. I sent you these today, and you and I, we kick a lot of articles back and forth throughout the week, but
yes,
tell me what you're thinking about this as a strong, independent woman. Do you feel more represented? Do you feel like finally your gender is getting what they so richly deserve by this representation?
I thought I was perfectly represented with Tolkien's world way before this was ever thought of. Tolkien has some incredible female characters. We don't need added ones, especially if they're going to be put into weird romantic relationships that really have no bearing within the world itself.
Yeah. So the long and the short of this is and I'm actually follow this Twitter feed, and I don't follow a lot of them, but this is from the Fellowship of the Fans, and this is an exclusive. Farazan's original son Kemen, and you guys are going to kill me for these pronunciations, Earth and Queen Ya, and Elendil's daughter Karine will be in a romantic relationship in the first season of the Lord of the Rings of Power. Why is that important? And I know somewhere that shouldn't be is having a minor aneurysm right now. So
I don't think it's minor.
Seal door.
Yes.
It's not a seal door. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, doesn't she look thrilled about it in that picture?
Yeah. I just wonder how long until she looks
to be there.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long until she looks like the woman that played Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter film? When do we get to get that cracked out look?
Yes,
God,
I
that's
saw that
horrifying.
picture.
Yeah. So during a banquet scene in a throne room, and this, of course, is in the Lord of the Rings of Power, Karine, Isildur's sister, he doesn't have a sister, and Kemen, Farazan's son, are dining together on a table for two. Ooh, this is like Puff and Purple on a Saturday night.
They're at the kiddie table.
Yeah.
You mean like Rand and Egwene in the bar?
Yes, like Rand and Egwene. Oh, God, getting it on and humping in her parents' bar.
Lady in the Tramp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Only it wasn't pasta in her mouth. You're absolutely right, Purple. So exclusive. Wow. Here's a scene. I killed Nathan. Nathan, I can't see because I have to be on another screen. So here's a scene in the throne room during a banquet type event where lots of people are complaining about the elves. Oh boy, let me guess, little on the head here, not wanting to offer them any help from Numenor. Farazan wants an opinion from a non-politician and insists on Karine's views. So the made-up character that Elendil didn't have as a daughter is going to be called on out of the entire banquet, sitting at the kids' table for her opinion in Amazon's Lord of the Rings. I know I am so excited to watch this. This is going to be great.
I just want to be honest about something here quickly, that I've had more than a few concussions. So when I see all these names and all this information, it kind of becomes name soup for me. And so I recommend that you go check out Thad That Shouldn't Be's channel, because he has a great breakdown of who these people are and what they mean to each other. I put the link in the chat. And yeah, I really can't keep up with it. So
I need to get to these super chats because Nico Glock, I'm not saying you need an intervention, brother, but I appreciate it. So this is another $5 super chat from Nico Glock, who says, join the panel tonight. Tugs. I think I got all the tugs in on that one. So, and I keep checking my Twitter. So yeah, Nico, you're an animal. Boy, which one haven't I shown you? All right. This one's for you again, Nico Clock.
Not alone. Go hit him!
And somewhere, Maxfield Von Priestley is smiling, just knowing that video exists. Hail to you again, Nico Glock. You are crazy. And thanks, X, for staying on top of this while I'm bouncing around to these other sites. So, yeah. So, again, and I'm not the only one that probably called this, but the trickle of bad news from the Lord of the Rings, it's going to continue now. It will pick up steam because they're running out of time to release all of the things that are not canon, that are not Tolkien, that us toxic entitled fans that are creating a toxic environment for those tourist fans who just want to watch Amazon's Lord of the Rings and not be bothered with canon, understanding anything that Tolkien did, have no appreciation for the books, never even watched the movies, that those people's joy should not be derailed by our toxicity. I'm going to kick this one out to you, Purple. What do you have to say to that type of mindset?
I think it's exactly the sort of audience that they're trying to appeal to. Unfortunately, we've seen it time and time again. It's an audience that doesn't actually exist other than in their own heads. But I think it's absolutely bizarre that this character would be called upon in this scene. Somebody presumably who has absolutely no knowledge of what's going on. She's not a warrior. She's not a politician. But out of everybody in this room, it's her opinion that they ask.
Yeah.
Because of course it is.
Well, I can't tell if she's a gender studies PhD student at the University of Glasgow who self-identifies as a Tolkien scholar, or if she's just a pain in the ass barista from Ballard in Seattle, Washington.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking
Which
about, Snowdub.
self-insert is this? Yes.
Snowdub, what's your read on this stuff with them creating these characters and changing genders and just manufacturing CW level young adult romances in the middle of a Tolkien epic?
This is great. Well, I think this will get an audience, even maybe out of just morbid curiosity for some, but where they're really going to fail, and it could be a complete flop, we don't know yet, but where it's really going to fail, I can guarantee you right off the bat, and you guys can all bet on this, is the merchandising. Because that's where your true audience is, your Tolkien fans, the people that love this franchise, that grew up either on the books or the movies or both, and those are the ones that spend the money on the merchandise. And if they're not happy, you're not going to sell your merchandise. It's going to sit on shelves and collect dust, just like Rose Tico.
Yeah, it's interesting because I asked that question: where are the Lord of the Rings of Power action figures? Where's the
I haven't
coffee
seen
cups?
anything. Yeah, I haven't seen nothing.
Where's Gladriel's dagger? Where's whoever? Where's Arundel's comb? I mean, I don't know. Like where the hell are all these things? And you just thanks for laughing, Purple. So we saw this with the Wheel of Time, and a lot of people are like, "Who gives a shit?" Like Wheel of Time, never heard it. I'm not going to cover it. The thing about Wheel of Time is it's a 15-book series, and I've gone down this road before. I'll keep it brief if you've heard it before. Wheel of Time is a 15-book series, 15 books with an incredibly dedicated fandom. Amazon took that story, fundamentally mangled it, turned it into a social justice, neo-Marxist, intersectional feminist CW one step above Batwoman show. And it was a warning sign and a warning shot as to what they were going to do to the Lord of the Rings, and now here we are. Now, Zaxx was there. That's how Zaxx and I found each other, was our abject horror at what they did to Wheel of Time. That's how I found Nathan, who's on here, Amanda Manethrin. You guys tell me, you just heard Snowdeb say something that a lot of us said when Wheel of Time was there, and I'll kick it out to you. Either one of you, Zaxx or Nathan, go ahead.
Well, that's when I first took you in my arms, Corey, right? You're...
Oh, God. Nathan, you talk. I don't want to hear Zaxx anymore.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you funny man, drunk in your
the
garage.
man
Tell me what's going on, Nathan. I'd rather hear from you than Zaxx. Go ahead, Nathan.
I don't know if I know what the hell's going on. Man, yeah, this is just total hot garbage. Tolkien wrote 750 characters plus in his whole history. And now they think that to have a good story, they need to put relationships in here. It's the same reason why the relationship that they ham-fisted into The Hobbit didn't work and took away from that trilogy. It doesn't work because it's not a part of the story. There's nothing there that endears me to sit there and say, hey, let me go read about this potential new line that's going to feed into Aragorn's family tree all of a sudden. That, oh, we have an illicit relationship between Karen and Kemen that all of a sudden goes down to, it's all hot garbage. And it's frustrating because there could be so much better story being told about this era. And they could
tell it. They could tell the story. They're choosing not to tell the story. I mean, I think that's what we need to start focusing on. They know what they're doing. They know it's going to piss us all off. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Zaxx, let me kick it
And
out to you real quick. Go ahead, Nathan. I'll let you finish up then.
She looks like a Karen, actually. So that's a good name, really.
Yeah.
yeah, discount Hermione.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like it's they complain about this, and it was the same thing with Wheel of Time, how they said there wasn't enough time to tell the story properly. Yet they managed to find ways to bog down the season right in the middle for 2 episodes that went nowhere, that had nothing to do with the real story. And it's the same thing here. They have what 2,000 years worth of stories they could tell, and they're gonna try to force this in there somehow. Why?
It's the same thing as Wheel of Time. They're making changes to make lazy, convenient storytelling tropes. That's all that it is. It's going to be like, it's going to be CW level things with, and it doesn't even look like Tolkien. And there's a reason for that. The art director for this is the same art director that made Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia movie. That's why it looks like the Chronicles of Narnia and not Peter Jackson. Now, the art director for Peter Jackson has a credit for one episode in season 1. And then they got rid of him just about the same time they got rid of Tom Shippey and a lot of the original writers on this show. So, yeah, I'd be really curious to find out what A Troubled Green has to say, and I'm sure it's laden in profanity. Let me kick this one out to you, Purple. I mean, it's just, does any of this surprise you, these leaks that we're seeing on this, with just making things up and not actually trying to tell the story?
Honestly, no. But I think from the beginning, a lot of us didn't really have very high hopes. I mean, there's always that little bit of hope that maybe because they got the rights from the Tolkien Society, that they were going to actually respect the law, respect the books, respect what Tolkien wrote. But we know that's not the case. So we've seen it with the trailers, we're seeing it with the leaks now, and I think as the months progress and as we get closer and closer to the release date, I think we're just going to see more and more of this, and it's just going to make the fans angrier and angrier.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, honestly, I try and rack my brain about what stupid thing they're going to do now to defend this. Like, what levels are they going to go to defend something that, quite frankly, it's indefensible? You know, how are they going to attack us? And it's an open question. I know there's no answer to it, but it's like, what's next? Are they going to ban us from not watching the show? Are they going to take our channels down like they try to do with Reddit? I mean, what are they going to do to try and protect this?
I would imagine if they could, there will definitely be censorship for people, anybody who is a detractor of this show. I think it's going to be pretty much of the same. You know, it's going to be the name calling, it's going to be the deleting of comments and the mass blocking of people, and all you're going to end up with is a echo chamber. Whereas what you'll have on our side is people, you know, discussing back and forth ideas, saying, you know, how can this progress? What are we expecting from this? Is there anything that could be good from this? As fans, we always look for, you know, the silver lining, but I'm struggling to find one at the moment.
Yeah, we talked. Sorry, we got lag on Restream. We talked about this last week, and it was really okay. We know it sucks. We can say it sucks over and over. What do we do about it? We talked about it on the video we did. I dropped yesterday. That's a good measure. The other part is to not stop talking about it. Is to keep reminding people that this is not Tolkien. We did it with Robert Jordan. We did it for the Wheel of Time, and it worked. People like Nick McCabe, who had never read the Wheel of Time, watched the show, was so frustrated, he took my advice and started reading the book. There are so many other people where the way that we can be an advocate for Tolkien, the way that we can put the money where our mouth is to keep saying this and to remind people, go, and if you're not going to read the books, go watch Peter Jackson. Ideally, you'd read the books. Read The Hobbit. It's an easy, quick read. It's a beautiful story, you know? And I understand those of you who get bogged down in The Two Towers or in The Return of the King. I understand. But what we're seeing from Amazon and what we're going to get with The Lord of the Rings is no more Tolkien than Batwoman on CW was the original DC character. It's just, it's going to be that level of absurdity. It truly is. Let me get to, oh my God, Nico, you're crazy. Thank you for being crazy, Nico Glock. This is a $10 super chat. Says Salty, my agent, Jolly, aka Snowdub Esquire, will send you the updated air quotes Nico Glock cutscene trademark agreement.
I can handle this one for you. It's I believe the current one that he's fond of is I have a cutscene of Mr. Slave from South Park, and he does his trademark saying of "This craft."
Oh, sorry. I actually reached out to a Trouble Green to have her come on, but she said no, she doesn't want. It's too toxic, and she's afraid of the MVPness. So I understand, Alasia. It's okay, but maybe next time. Hail to you, Nico Glock. Let me give you something from the bag of tricks.
Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the red gold.
That's the thing I love about doing the show is you never know what's going to happen. You never know which direction the chat is going to take us. And Purple, you know, I'm not just. I mean, this is the wonderful thing. We had no idea any of this was going to happen, and it's been wonderful madness. And thank you to everybody who has left us awesome comments. Thank you so much for the super chats, and thank you to those who have become channel members at the Taveran level. I am humbled. And thank you to Snowdub for just showing up and hanging out tonight, brother. Really, it means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well, at least they're not, the super chats are not attacking me anymore. You know, I can say that much.
Oh, dude, you can't say things like that out loud. They're going to get it again probably now. So this is from Daniel. Hail to you, bro. This is for $5. Says, how about a fun Wheel of Time challenge? Purple, match the word from group 1 to group 2. Group 1, tug, knuckle, smooth, box. Group 2, mustache, ear, braid, skirt.
Okay.
I don't have any Jeopardy music, but I'll hum for you.
Okay, so tug, I would match braid, knuckle, that one, ear, smooth, skirt, and tug, mustache. I probably got all those wrong.
I'll tell you what, you were closer than what Amazon did with the characters, and I know what he was doing. Your consolation prize, you're getting a gift certificate to what's that?
That's actually a really good point.
I know they're actually closer. Yeah. So I mean, where Daniel was going with this,
you don't want to know what they did
quick.
with the word box.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a sport and it's not a shipping container. So tug is braid, knuckle is smooth. Let's see, smooth the skirt.
Knuckle.
Box the ear. Oh my god, I know exactly what this is. Knuckle the mustache. Yep. Tug the braid is Nynaeve. You guys jump in on this one too. Box the ear, that could be Nynaeve as well. Smooth the skirt, that could be it could be Egwene, Nynaeve, or Elaine, honestly, but I think it's more Nynaeve. And then of course knuckle the mustache is Baron. Am I saying it wrong? Burn. You guys always just, you know who I'm talking about, who one character who was stilled eventually marries. Would you agree with that assessment?
Say that last one again.
Knuckle the mustache would be Burn.
Trying to recall.
That's okay. We'll just leave it at that. That was a good one, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
That was brilliant. Let me go ahead and give you something out of the bag of tricks. Let's give you a sentimental one here.
Why, Bilbo Baggins? Perhaps it is because I'm afraid. It gives me courage.
Oh, I love Gandalf so much. And Zaxx can attest to this. Every Tuesday, I start to get a little anxious. I'm like, God, how the hell? What are we going to talk about? Where are we going to go? What are we going to do on the show?
Is anyone going to show up?
Well, that's the other part too. And I I'm not good at self-promotion, but I am going to say this. Thanks to all of you in chat for sharing the videos, for talking about the videos. Thank you to Purple Valkyrie. Thank you to Maxfield Von Priestley. Thank you to Zaxx. Thank you to Amanda Manethrin. I am at 1,951 subscribers. So
Nice.
I
Hey, we're at the same.
I know, and it's not a competition, and I want you to win, and you're gonna win. But I
You
simply
deserve this.
I am humbled beyond you guys. All of you, you're the ones that make this channel. I've said it many, many times. I am a chimp with a mic, and I am blessed to work with really cool people. And Zaxx hits me with a cattle prod. I am lucky enough that Purple shows up every Tuesday night, that Amanda Manethrin is here every other Tuesday night, that Maxfield Von Priestley shows up mostly. And it's like, we just have fun. We just talk about this stuff, and your passion and you in chat derailing my plans. I love it. It's amazing. And thank you. I mean, this is a gratitude from the bottom of my heart. We had Tug show up tonight, and this is fun. So thank you guys. Nico Glock. Here we go. I'm gonna let Purple read this one because I think you can put a fine lit to it.
Okay. A big thank you once again to Nico Glock. You are awesome as always. He sends us a $5 super chat. He says, Jesus Christ it.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the wildest, weirdest Tuesday night show. We're here every week starting at 7:15. Nico Glock.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
There you
Jesus
go.
Christ.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Thank you.
Wow, I got that horrible image in my head now. Jesus Christ, for real. This one's for you, Nico. I'm running out of stuff to show you. I think we're starting duplicate, but here you go.
We travel light. That is handsome orc.
Oh, I love hunting orc. And we've got Alasia. We have a troubled green. Fantastic YouTuber. Does a really good bookstagram. Am I saying it right? Is that what the kids call it? Does some really fantastic literature reviews. Does a great show with Lady Gravemaster covering fantasy. They had a great show from this Saturday. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Hail to you, Alej. Hail to you, a troubled green. Subscribe to her. It's a $4.99 super chat. Says, you meanie, your girl is tired, and I'm coming for MVP-ness. Oh, Alasia, you need to proofread these before you set it. And I'm coming for MVP-ness, so he better watch himself. And I'm not scared of him. She's not scared of the MVP-ness. Now give me Elrond. Oh, Alasia, you walked right into that one. Yes, ma'am. Here you go, Elrond.
You should have stayed dead.
I had so much fun with that chat. Thank you, Alasia. Please send more chats like that in the future. You're fantastic.
And
I think she probably just enjoyed hearing you say it.
Probably. I dropped her link in the chat, and she put out her first book review today. So check it out.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, go
Awesome.
check her out. We had her on this channel a couple of weeks ago. She's a fantastic creator and really has a great take on literature and is very passionate about her fandom. So hail to you, Alasia. So I think we've essentially caught up. So this will be the last thing, and then we'll close down for the evening because we are now beyond 3. Go ahead.
You're not caught up.
Okay, I'm not.
Guess who? Guess who?
Your mom? Oh, here we go.
Oh. No, my mom is not this generous.
Oh my God, Nico Glock. You can hit me on Twitter. I'm going to buy you a coffee mug or a pint out of my store. You're insane. Nico, I mean, in a good way. Thank you. Nico Glock for $5 says, tip for the chimp on the mic. That would be me. Hail to you, brother. I am the chimptest with the mostest on the micest. And God, dude, I have given you everything that I've already had. let's do something. Let's do this one.
I am no man.
There was never any strong female characters until Ghostbusters came
Love
out.
that.
Never in cinema. There was never any strong female characters in Terminator, Aliens, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor. Never happened. It was only until this current year, Sensibilities showed us all what women could be, and that is, of course, emotionally stunted teenage boys. Hail to you, Nico Glock. Thank you for the tip to the chimp.
I was going to say objectified, but I guess yours works too, Corey.
Did you? Oh my God, the lag is bad. I'm sorry for the delay. Purple, did you have anything to add to the tip for the chimp on the mic statement, or were you laughing about the strong female characters in movies?
I was laughing at Zaxx.
Can I ask you this, Purple? This is a legitimate question. What was at what age did you see a strong female character on the screen, and what movie was it that made you go, "Damn, she's a badass"?
Pretty much from as much as I can remember from being very little. Everything from obviously Star Wars with Princess Leia, and then we moved into, as you say, Alien with Ripley. We had some fantastic back in the day. We had the Disney characters, that were pretty cool as well. Before they started making them very woke. But yeah, we've always had fantastic female characters. This isn't anything new.
No.
This isn't something that they've just coming up with.
The girls from Porky's, you had them too.
Okay.
Exactly.
Fair point. God, I spent so much time trying to dial in that channel we weren't subscribed to. Never mind. That's
me and the Snow Kid really loved Alice in Wonderland and the original cartoon, from the 50s, and I go back and I look at those type of movies, and the female leads were very feminine, and really had a female nature about them, but at the same time they were in extraordinary circumstances that really exploited their character. These days it's all about hitting the check boxes and making sure you got your color and your female, and is she empowered, and you got to have some, usually a guy of fairer skin to step on in the process. So it's really becoming quite repetitive and ridiculous, I might add.
And predictable.
And I think the chimp comment was a racist, Nico. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take it. Actually, it's crazy. My sister did the genealogy thing, and for my entire life, I was told that I was Polish and German, and a little bit of Irish. As it turns out, I'm Italian, so I'm part, Italian. So
Nice.
I know, right? It's crazy. This is an interesting. Oh God, I just blew my own segue on that one. But you talk about that from the 1950s with Alice in Wonderland, but there was a woman by the name of Lauren Bacall who married an actor called Humphrey Bogart. And they made a series of movies in film noir and detective noir from the 40s. And I dare anyone to look at that woman and the character that she played and say that there were no strong female characters in cinema until Ghostbusters 2016. I mean, am I wrong about that? You guys, do we have any love and appreciation for Lauren Bacall as a badass?
Absolutely, yes. And Rita Hayworth as well.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that, but you want to talk about a real badass woman? Lucille Ball built a media empire. A media empire.
She's
created
a beast.
Desilu. Yeah, she was a force to be reckoned with. Savvy, smart as hell. If you haven't seen an episode of I Love Lucy, you need to see it. You need to see the classic show. Absolutely fantastic. No one can tell me that woman was disempowered by the patriarchy. That's all I'm going to say. And the other thing is in the real, though, she created Desilu, which actually produced the original Star Trek that came out in the 60s. So, Nico Glock, you're insane. Thank you for being crazy tonight. Another super chat from Nico Glock. Zaxx, I'm going to kick this one to you. I want to share the Nico Glock love.
LOL, Snow will tell you, I'm not on social media. I'm here and barely on Instagram.
Does that mean he's nude on Instagram? I'm asking for a friend. Hail to you, Nico Glock. Thank you so much again for that super chat. That's cool. I get it. My look on my about section of my channel, YouTube channel, you'll find my email address. Hit me up, brother. I want to give you a coffee cup or a mug of my choice. You have been a lunatic tonight, and I greatly appreciate it. And I am running out of things not to show you more than 4 times. Let's do this one.
We have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. There are other forces at work in this world further besides the will of evil.
So, yeah, hail to you again, Nico Glock. So this was the last article that I wanted to cover, but my God, we're going on 3 hours and 40 minutes. We can save it for another time. Purple, did you maybe want to summarize some of this? The Bechtel test. The Bechtel test was a joke. It was a cartoon. And these morons, I mean, these people, they latch onto whatever thing can artificially inflate the supply for their absolutely can I even say that on YouTube? For their delusional grievance demand. Like any little thing just to be able to say I'm triggered. And it's like, Purple, what was your read on this? The Bechtel test? How long would the Lord of the Rings be then? Like what? Like 8 seconds? Is that what really counts in a trilogy? What am I missing about this line of thinking?
Yes, this is a very silly article that I came across, and we can kind of go over it in a little bit more depth another time. But to summarize, basically what they were complaining about is that this trilogy does not really pass the Bechdel test. Now, the Bechdel test is when a scene which 2 women speak to each other about something that is completely unrelated to men. So within the Lord of the Rings trilogy, there is only one line of dialogue, and it's a little girl says to Onwe, she says, "Where's Mama?" And that's it. That's it. That's the only 2 lines that 2 females speak to each other. And I honestly do not care, because the Lord of the Rings is the greatest fantasy trilogy of all time.
Yeah. Where's Mama? You have a daughter speaking to her mother because the village is being overrun and everyone's going to die. And then you have Eowyn that follows. What kind of and this is not the time for this, but I thank God I was born in 1970. I do. Even though I lived through the end of the Vietnam War, and then of course the stagflation of the 70s, which we're now getting again. And then of course the whole Cold War, where every day you wake up and it's like, oh, good, they haven't nuked the entire planet. But I don't understand. I don't know what type of human being, and I'm choosing that word, would legitimately write an article that points things like this out and thinks that somehow they've won a victory for humanity. I just simply don't understand. I'm going to kick that one out to you, Zaxx. When you saw this, I mean, it's just, is this lunacy going to end anytime soon? That's what we're all wondering.
I wish it was going to end soon. I don't feel like it's going to. It's still, there's the ESG money out there, and people are going after that, or quote unquote money. These brands are failing, it seems like, but they just double down harder. It seems every time they take a step back. So, I mean, I'd like to say yes, but I'm not sure. But I did want to say something else, and I don't want to make this weird, okay? But
good luck.
Yeah. But if you're Italian, then I think you might owe myself and Purple some reparations, but we can talk about that later.
Hold on. I'm only like what is it? 33% Italian. Oh, well, no. If I owe you anything, it's from the 8% Scandinavian that I am. because
Details.
I am a Viking.
It's cool. We'll talk
8%
later.
Scandinavian. I know. We'll talk later. Yeah. Have your people call my people. That's fine. Yeah. No, it's the Scandinavian side I'm worried about. Let me say goodnight to a troubled green. Good night, Alasia. Thank you for being here. You are a lovely soul.
Good night.
You have a wonderful voice in this fandom, and I look forward to hearing more from you. We've got Rick Silvis as well. It has been a great, but I have to go now. Thanks all. Have a great evening. Rick Silva, thank you. It was fun having everybody here in chat. You guys have hung with us almost 4 hours, and this is the part where we say good night. So I'm going to go around the horn on this one. Let's go ahead and start with Snowdub, the guest of honor. Where can people find you? What's going on for you, my brother?
Well, I just like to say with that 33% there, you could probably still make a mean spaghetti, right?
Dude, I make really good homemade pizza. My lasagna
There it
killer.
is.
That's all I'm going to say. There it is.
Yeah, see? So it is there.
I'll
No,
take
you
it.
can catch me. You can catch me and my crazy friend Nico Glock over there. We usually do Taco Tuesdays on Snowdub Music and Entertainment, but like I said, Jolly's in surgery. We wish him well. He'll be back soon. We just rolled up the final season the final episode of season 3 Tuck and Roll show. A lot of fun. I think you were on that one, Salty, if I remember right.
Dude, yeah, I can't wait for next season. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't wait for next season. I really can't. You guys are insane. And you made me spend so much money on your channel. I hate you.
Well, save some of that money because we're bringing the Cotton Council show to you real soon. It's going to be a very public-centric, and a good mutual good friend of ours, Floral, is going to help produce this show.
Good.
And it's going to be great. I think we're going to do kind of a demented new age Muppet show for you guys. So we're really excited about this. It's coming soon. It'll be right there on the Saturday night slot through the summertime. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it.
I'm so excited. Floral from Under a Rock, who has been on this channel. I've been on his channel. He has hit the creative gas, and subscribe to him. What I'm seeing from Floral Under a Rock is astonishing, and that's not to take away from you, Snowdub. Dude, you are laying down the block rockin' beats every time you turn on that camera, brother, and hail to you. I love your entertainment. I love what you do with Jolly. I tolerate what happens with Puff, and I'm not judging Purple for her proclivities with a man who, if Bob Marley smoked Puff, I'm pretty sure he would never get up again. That's all I'm going to say. So
the rumors are true.
It is true. Amanda Manethrin, shout out your channel, brother.
Oh, well, hi, I'm Nathan. My channel's Amanda Manethrin. I'll someday come out with another video, but most of the time you'll see me here every other Tuesday. So, and I just appreciate the opportunity to just hang out and have fun with all you guys and gals.
I honestly, Nathan, I love when you're on the show. You have such great takes. You're a lot of damn fun, and thank you for gracing us with your presence every Tuesday. Really. Zaxx, shout out your channel, brother. I know you've been doing a lot of Gina Carano. You've moved on from Adam Sessler. What else is going on?
Yeah, I've taken a step up in the world. It's and first of all, everyone's links are in the chat, so please subscribe to everyone. And it's Gina Carano week on my channel, so every day there'll be at least one video featuring Gina Carano, and so you should definitely show up for that. And that's in response to people trying to cancel her from conventions. That's why I did that.
Nice.
Plus, she's hot.
Oh yes,
true.
Oh yes, she is,
and she would kick our ass. So
I'd love it.
Purple Valkyrie, shout out your channel. The lovely, the magnificent, the Purple Monarch, please.
First of all, let me say thank you guys. Absolutely had a fantastic time getting to stream with you all tonight. Had a brilliant time getting to see the comments in the chat. You guys were on fire as always, so thank you. Yep, you can find me on Rise and Shine with Purple Valkyrie. I should be back tomorrow. I don't think it'll be a morning show. I think it's going to be more of a evening type show because I've got stuff going on during the day, and then I will be back on Friday, and I have a special guest on Sunday as well. And if I can make it fit in, I'm going to try and do a member stream on Saturday as well. So lots of stuff coming.
Fantastic. You've been doing some great stuff. I really love the true crime show that you've been doing. And of course, I really love the UFO woo-woo show that you and I have been doing. And we're going to record another one sometime this week. Zaxx, let me know when you're free.
Yes.
We found some really crazy articles. And again, none of this is a stretch. And they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Oh my God. It's going to be off the chain, the next woo-woo show. So I'm going to shout myself out. I am Salty Texas C. I am here on this channel you're already on. And I really appreciate everyone who showed up in the chat tonight. Thank you very much for those of you who are channel members. Thank you very much for those of you who decided to become the Tavern and to join at that very channel supporting level. Hank, thank you for that. I'm very humbled. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats. Thank you to Snowdub for showing up tonight. Thank you for Amana Manethrin, dude, brother. Thank you for showing up tonight. A huge thank you to Zaxx, and a very special thank you to Purple Valkyrie, who adds an element of class to this group of ne'er-do-wells over here in this corner of the internet. So, hail everyone. I hope you have a great evening. Look for a new woo-woo video coming out probably sometime at the end of this week. And you all
Stop.
Take care.
Oh my! One more.
Oh, Nico Glock, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Here we go. Another $10 from from my Tavern, from a channel member. $10 says, Salty, thank you so much for being #Cotton Connection member. You do fantastic. Thank you. You do fantastic shows as always. I love all you Wolf brothers and sisters. Well, Nico Glock, we love you. And your comments, dude, you have made this so much fun tonight, just like everybody else in the chat. But Nico, thank you very kindly. Find my email address in my channel. I'm going to send you something for tonight. So hail everybody. This will be the, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll hook you up, buddy. I got his address, so I'll make sure you guys get connected.
Roger that.
Yep.
10-4. Thanks, Snowdub. Everybody in chat, have a great evening. This will be the last video that I play, and then we'll go into credits. Take care, you all.
Good night.
You should have stayed dead.
As ever, this is Salty Texas C. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.